And your pasta, no clue, far from the plan. Tottenham stranded, in shadows, no man's land. Lost on the pitch, echoes in the night. Fans screaming loud, no end in sight. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football mist. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football mist. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Speechless, impressed, they're at the ground. No solutions, nowhere to be found. Fans on the side, hearts turned to stone. Stadium echoes a lonesome drone. Whispers in the air, they speak of change. Hope on the horizon feels so strange. Question marks in every wayward pass. And close to future fading fast. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Welcome, good evening, fans. Tonight we had a impressive victory, and we have lots to dive in to tonight's victory. 3-1 over BODØ at home. We are halfway there, going to Bilbao for the Europa League final. We should be happy, but we should also be a bit worried because we gave BODØ a lifeline. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Dan, how are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm all right. If anything, I'm just frustrated with that result by the end of it. I thought we'd end up screwing it and drawing 1-1 because I've got absolutely no faith in the manager and the team. But fair play, 3-1. We got a win. We got what we needed. The annoying thing is, for me, is the goal itself. It was complacency, the way I see it. The team got complacent. They thought the job was done at 70 minutes, 75 minutes, and they got complacent. And there you go. The other team got a goal. Okay, 3-1, still going there, the 2-goal lead. Happy with that. But I think a few people need to realise that this is going to be a very, very different game when you go to their place. They got 4 of their best players back, and they just opened us while 3-0 down with 4 of their best players missing because our players got so bloody complacent, as a Spursy thing it is. I don't even blame Ange for that one. That one was solely down to the players for me. Yeah. And I think we have just given a chance. I still think we go there and win.
Yeah.
But why did we even have to give them a chance through nothing but sheer complacency on that pitch, in my opinion?
Yeah, no, 100% agree. And we're going to have more people jumping in. Stell, and some of the boys, they went to the game, and so he'll be coming in. I want to say an hour in within the show. As people trickle in, Ian and the rest of the crew, post game crew will jump in. No, 100% agree. I'm with you on that. We had them dead in the water at 3-0. I'm like, you know what? Get those tickets ready to go to Bilbao. I still kind of feel those tickets to Bilbao kind of have them reserved, but we definitely gave them a lifeline. The second leg, they're gonna get Berg back, who is very key to their attack, and they're gonna throw everything but the kitchen sink. But we'll talk about that later. But we have to celebrate that we won 3-1, and I'm gonna put up because usually we like to talk about the starting lineup. So we got the starting lineup here. When you saw this, you noticed there was a big missing. I was at work when they brought out the starting lineup before I saw the game, but I saw someone was missing, and I want to confirm if is Bergvall out for the rest of the year. First of all,
from what I've heard from other people and what they've shown on TV, I think he's out for the season. He's done himself in training, and that's only from what I've heard on TV and what others have said. But personally, I don't think we missed Bergvall in the slightest today.
Yeah,
they actually played Basuma and Bentancur to what they are best at. They played Bentancur as more of a DM sort of player, and they played Basuma as more of a box-to-box getting forward player. And he looks a different player for it. But again, technically, it was only BODØ Glimt with 4 players missing that we were playing. But you can only be happy with what you go against, basically, yeah? And I'm just frustrated because at the end of that game, I just think we gave them a chance that we didn't need to give them.
Yeah, we gave them a lifeline. And look at the starting lineup. I was actually happy to see Richarlison start. I honestly think him and Johnson are probably in our phone line. Mind you, I don't rate them highly, but they've been the most effective of a bad bunch. Richarlison, I think, starts the second leg. And for me, if in the final, he should start. I know earlier today there was a big debate with Son and Tell whatsoever, but I think Richarlison's done enough to keep his, starting, starting position, to say the least. And it's not saying much, but I mean, would you agree or?
I don't know. I was a bit strange with the starting with Richarlison bit. I won't deny it. I thought that was a bit of a strange one, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And had ideas of what the manager might be trying to do. Is he trying to do? Is he just putting someone else on there? Whatever. I don't know. But I thought Richarlison had a very respectable first half and actually got involved in the game.
Yeah. No, definitely.
And I think he had a better half than Tell had when he came on.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. And in that first goal, like I said, with Charleston, for me, better than Solanke in regard of heading the ball into play, hold up play. That first goal for this guy, I'm gonna put him up, Mr. Brennan Johnson, tapping or whatsoever, he scores. Right? We're not getting from Tell. We're not getting from Olderberg, but as much as people don't rate Johnson, at least he makes his tap-ins, and this one was a very nice header tap-in. And Johnson, I gotta give him props.
Look, when it comes to something like that, again, for me, I will still stay all day long. I think he is a terrible player. Again, in my opinion. But the thing is with him, he can walk off at the end of this season with probably one other person with a bit of pride because he has scored 17 goals now this season. Whether he's been shit at everything else in that, which I think he has, I think he's a dreadful player in a lot of ways, but he has still scored 17 goals. And without some of those goals, we'd probably be in relegation. So in that aspect, credit where credit is due, yeah. But for the rest of the game, he was irrelevant to me, really, for a lot of it. Again, he does his thing and then he just totally evaporates on the pitch most of the time. But yeah, he got his goal. Fair play. That's all I can say. I don't think he really got mentioned much else in the game, did he?
No, and that's my
now,
biggest
for me.
He doesn't do
for
anything.
Me, there's two places on that pitch where you can be irrelevant the whole game, bar 1 minute, and that's a striker and a goalkeeper. Goalkeeper can stand there and do absolutely nothing for the whole game, but he's got to be alert for that 1 second when it comes in for him and he's got to make that save. Same as a striker. A striker can be irrelevant the whole game, but if that ball comes to him on the last second and he puts it in the back of the net, job done. Now, when you're a winger inside forward or anywhere else on that pitch, you've got to be alert and part of the game for a significant amount of time. He doesn't. He taps it in and then he evaporates. But he got us the goal we needed. So what else can I really say about him?
Yeah. And like I said, beggars can be choosers in regards of scoring goals. That's the name of the game. And as much as I think Johnson's useless doing everything else, when he gets his chance, and call it tapping all you want, he's executing, he's scoring. And so, that had us up 1-0 early in the game, which we needed. But then again, in the back of our mind, when we score first, right? Liverpool game, we scored first, but BODØ was just missing too many players, and so they didn't really have a chance of winning this game, other than we gave them a lifeline. But that second goal by Maddison was beautiful to have us up 2-0. And people were actually saying, during the year, Maddison should come from the bench and whatsoever. I think, for me personally, he doesn't like Ange. You can see it from his last interview. He was down. And so he's still producing. Maybe he could do better, there's been times he's checked out. But a lot of players have checked out. Romero, Kulu, a couple of players, because of what we're going through. But Maddison shows up when we need him.
Yeah, but I think another thing, if you notice how we played today, which we did play slightly different than that, something that I've been complaining about, like a lot of other people, like a few other people, I will say, all season, is that when you play as a number 10, you need some freedom. You need some space. You don't need two centre mids sitting 6 foot from your ass. Two inverted wing backs sitting either side of you. Your striker like 6 yards in front of you, and the inverted as well. You need some space. I don't think we played that inverted today. A couple of times, yes, on the pitch, but overall, I think I saw Porro doing more overlapping than underlapping as such. And again, it shows. Give Maddison a bit of space, he can pull tricks off.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that, really. It is just as simple as that for me.
Yeah, no, definitely. If he has that space to create, he can still create goals, score goals. And, I'm hearing, what's it, Liverpool? Is it City or Liverpool that might be interested in Maddison? And I'm just like, yeah, he's still our most creative player on this team. And so I find it crazy that people suggested that he shouldn't start, get rid. We get rid of Maddison. Who do we have left in that midfield to create?
The only one we've got closest to doing it is Kulusevski, and he's nowhere near as good a playmaker as Maddison. I'd say Kulusevski is about the only one we could stick there, possibly with a chance of doing a playmaker's role there, sort of thing. But again, that's personal opinion.
Yeah, no, definitely. Let me see. Alexander, is Alexander there? Alexander, I will post the link on the chat. This is only for Alexander to jump in. Copy it and then I'm gonna post it. This is just for Alexander to jump in. I need to get Alexander's information. But yeah, there you go, Alexander. That's the link to jump in. But so yeah. So then we grew up 3-0 on the penalty. Easy call. Once I saw the replay, I'm like, yeah. He doesn't get the ball. Gets Romero the back leg. They call the penalty, and well, 3-0. You 100% agree? Penalty. There's no.
Look, if I'm going to be totally honest, yeah, modern day, it's a penalty. Yes, it is. But for me, it's still a pathetic penalty that should never be given. But in modern day football, it is what it is. Those are the rules. Deal with it. But if just the way I look at things like that, that is never a penalty for me. But it is an official penalty as such. If you're going to go by the rule book, yes, it was a penalty. I think there's so many penalties and fouls in these days that are just literally pathetically light that is frustrating to watch. But by the rules and the way it goes, it was a penalty.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We're same age bracket, and I remember when a penalty is when you're involved in the situation is a goal scoring opportunity, and in that sequence there wasn't really a threat per
You
se.
can even argue that Romero had his leg up very high as well, if you really wanted to argue it.
Yeah.
But again, he kicked the bottom of Romero's leg, and in the penalty area, that's a foul. Whereas anywhere else on the pitch, it wouldn't be a foul. That's where I find some things weird. But it was a penalty at the end of the day. I weren't complaining. We got it. We scored it. I'm just genuinely pissed off with the way that we let in that goal for them out of just sheer complacency. And for me, again, Romero showed again to me why I keep telling people he's not a world-class player. Very good player. He is not world-class player for it. Again, why the hell did he make that stupid tackle that nearly got us in trouble, where he went flying past it? And why the hell does he have to run it off to give himself a yellow card, so that if he gets a yellow card in the next game, then he's out for the final? That is not what a world-class mentality player does for me. That is why I cannot call him world-class.
It was stupid. I would agree. Like I said, have been very critical of Romero, and that wasn't smart. I said the same thing when Partey got his yellow against Real Madrid. I'm like, oh, he misses that. And you saw what happened to Arsenal. They really missed Partey. You got that, that dumb yellow. And now, though Romero's going to play the next game, but he's one yellow card. He's going to have to play a clean game in a hostile environment. And we'll get Alexander on because he's Scandinavian, so he knows more about BODØ and their plastic pitch. And
I think the thing with Romero, it depends if Angie's desperate to play him or not in the final. If Angie's desperate to play him in the final, I wouldn't play him in the semi-final. I'll put Danzo there instead. And I think with Danzo, in a situation like that sort of thing, you'll get more mentally than you will do off Romero. Romero capability, yes, significantly better. But if we want him in the final, like if the manager is desperate to have him in the final, then I say we just cut him completely out for the second leg.
The only thing is, and as you guys didn't know, United has a 3-goal advantage over Bilbao. Romero, right, the way Ange plays, right, you can see Romero is an asset in the attack. He's the only person back there, and that's including our midfield minus Madison, who can get a quality pass against our forwards. And when we play against United, we're gonna need people of quality on the ball. So I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but there is a difference with Danzo. Oh, we just lost Alexander. Danzo can't do that for us, and so
you don't think so?
I haven't seen it. Whereas with Romero, I can see it against United where, we advance that ball forward. Romero is the only one in the backfield I can trust who is good on the ball to get forward. Because, and mind you guys, if we played United, which is, I want to say 99.99, I just don't see Bilbao at Old Trafford coming back. But then again, it's been a crazy Europa. It's been a crazy Europa,
Now,
and that's what's no
if
guarantee that we're in the final. But I'm just saying that there will be a miss in regards of the attack because, you
yeah,
know,
but do we need to go there and attack? Do we need to go there and go all out guns blazing? No, we don't. We need to play sensible. We need to play a counter-attacking game because they have to come at us with everything, and at their ground they're going to do it. Now, in my personal opinion,
I'm talking about the United.
someone's steaming towards our defence, and I've either got a choice of Danzo or Romero sitting there. Who do you think's got the more capability of taking the player out properly and taking the ball? Romero. But who do you think's got the better mentality for it? Romero is, to me, he's still a liability on the pitch on those pinpoint moments. And then other days he has a perfect game, basically, once in a blue moon. But the mentality of the man, which he just showed in that game for me again, on why I don't call him world class. I wouldn't play him in the semi-final. If I want him in that final that much, I wouldn't play him in the semi-final. Because you cannot book money on it that he would not go up again and do a dickhead thing like that and get another yellow card. If you want him in the final that much.
No, I would agree with you. I would take that route, with the exception if BODØ comes back, you're gonna have to play him in the second half or extra time if it comes to that point. But if you told me you want to start Danzo to kind of protect Romero from himself, I'm all for it.
I think he's more level-headed. I think Danzo is more. I'm not saying he's a better player, not at all, but I think he's more of a level-headed person than Romero on the spur at the moment. Because that's one thing that lets Romero down and stops him being world-class, apart from his consistency, is he's still, how old is he now, 27?
Yes, 27.
Is he 27?
Yeah, and he's, something like that. And he's still as gobby and as erratic as he is at times. He can be a liability.
Yeah. Alexander.
Big up Mario. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, definitely. A nice victory, 3-1, but there's a little taint on it. We just gave BODØ a lifeline, and this has been a crazy Europa. BODØ is really good at home. What are your thoughts about tonight's 3-1 victory?
Honestly, it was close to my expectation. I predicted 4-1. I thought we'd have this sort of kind of start to the game. First energetic first half, all of that, really going for it. And with BODØ missing their best midfielder, the captain, and other key players, I just thought that there's no way they're going to be as blazing as us. So that went to our advantage. But when Matters went off and Richie in the second half, I just think it changed the dynamics. I don't know if it was mental, if the players just thought, yeah, we can relax now. We can relax now and just, try to be more safe than to actually go for another goal when we clearly had it in us. Like they weren't defensively solid as such, where you could say, okay, it's not going to get. Of course, we could have gone for another goal, but I don't think we did, honestly. And whatever that's up to, I don't know. But at the end of the day, I think we showed we were capable of more than we're like defensive performance away in Frankfurt, and if we can try to replicate that in Norway, even though there's different settings, temperature, all of that trivial shit, and the pitch, of course, then we should be able to come. We should, and my full expectation is that even if we go there to Norway, a draw would be okay, but I don't even want to see us lose. I want to see us either win or draw. I'm not expecting anything less than that. And yeah. So it wasn't where I went today. I don't have this great worry, but there's that little, that nothing is impossible. Never know.
We've given them a lifeline, basically, haven't we? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you can
mean, I
feel
know
that.
people are going to be saying 3-1, be happy we won. Yeah. Okay, 3. But when you look at how they play at their ground and everything, usually, I mean, with what Savage just read out as well, with what I'd read as well, they usually score 2 goals or more at home in Europe.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different game out there. And I still think we've done enough to win it, basically. I don't think we're going to go there and get cooked or whatever. And that I think we can still, even if we do lose it, it'll only be by a goal sort of thing, like a 3-2 or a 2-1, and we'll squeeze it. But I just feel that we just give them that chance that they didn't have. And it's just the way the whole Spursy thing is. I'm just looking at it, get complacent as anything. And that is what is frustrating about it. And for that one, that goal personally, nothing to do with Ange. You can't blame Ange for that one. That was the players being complacent.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Too, but couldn't you see it in his face on the touchlines? He was nodding his head. I think it was in the 85th minute something. It's like he knows what to expect there because he was there with Celtic and kind of they served up to him then was probably something he didn't expect and couldn't really tactically adapt to. So, I mean, yeah, he has to trust in the players. And if I was him, I would, as you said earlier, then I would drop Romero, honestly, for Danso, just to have that kind of safety. But I don't think he has the balls to do that. Ange doesn't have the balls to do that. And who knows? Isn't it that if Romero picks up a booking now in the second leg, he's banned for the final?
I think so. If I've heard it right on the TV and through other people, if he gets a yellow card in the next round, then he's out for the final. I think.
Yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, and I'm just stating it. Other people may have a different opinion. Player of the match, but SofaScore had Romero as the player of the match.
SofaScore,
how?
And they had him the highest rated. Everybody else had a good game.
Look at Mickey's rating. How does that make any sense? I don't know. I can't even figure, honestly.
Yeah. But just throwing it out there. But that yellow did, come on now. You had a good game, and to fuck it up with a dumb yellow now puts Ange in a precarious situation. So here's my next question. You're up 3-1. You're at BODØ. You know they're going to throw everything but the kitchens, including the kitchen sink. Do we just sit back, right? Against City, right? It was almost Jose Mourinho-esque, against, Frankfurt, some parts of the game, but really against City. We sat back, right? And we played the counter. Do we give BODØ the possession and just hit him on the counter? Because BODØ is going to attack. They're going to throw everything at us. Or we play the Ange way. We come out aggressive despite having the 2-goal lead. I mean, what do you think? What does Ange do this second leg at BODØ?
Honestly, today I don't think we were that aggressive. In my opinion, it reflected into the possession in general. I think we played on the counter more often than not. And didn't we have 41%? I think we had 41% possession.
For a second. Big up, Lee. Thank you, brother. Ange said in his interview that we're going to attack him in the second leg.
It's not surprising.
So that means we're good. We could possibly give them a chance.
Whatever you meant with that, because today it wasn't that. It wasn't that attacking. It was because we had the better chances and the more. Our shots were way higher than theirs. But 41% possession, I think that just reflects more of a balanced type of approach from us, not this crazy gung ho, kind of performance for us. And if we go out there in BODØ with the same sort of mindset, and none of our players can think that it's that is safe, and that just two goals, just like that, a goal. If they scored a goal within the first 10 minutes, then they're just one goal behind. It's 1-0.
It's been a crazy Euros. It's been a crazy,
yeah.
not Euros. I mean Europa. Sorry, my bad. It's been a crazy Europa. Like anything can happen. That's why we're all upset with that one goal. And now, like, big up once again, Lee says, Angie said, we're going to attack them in the second leg. Okay, but you also know now leaves us open, and they're getting Berg back. They're getting their players back, because they're going to be aggressive too. I posed that to Dan. Is that the right strategy for the second leg?
Again, it all comes down to personal opinion, doesn't it? And how you would play football, yeah? I mean, Alex, I think you got that spot on. I don't think we really played attacking football overall, yeah? I think we actually looked organised on that pitch for a change. Organised. That's the difference. With the direct ball here and there, and the direct ball over from Porro straight to well controlled by Maddison.
Yeah, exactly.
Scuffed the kick a little bit. He could have made the goal look prettier, let's put it that way, yeah? But excellent control, went in the back of the net, who gives them monkeys, yeah? And we actually looked like we had some shape. We actually looked like each player knew what he was there to do as such. We had some organisation. And then that's where I go to my point and repeat myself again. Last 20 minutes, 15 minutes and that, we sit back, think job's done, get complacent, all of a sudden, all over the place, no one can get in front of their man, bang, they score a goal, and we give them a lifeline. Up until that point, I think you're right. I don't really think we were that attacking. It was just where we looked organised and was getting forward with some good direct balls and not inverting all the time. It just looked better straight away. Basuma playing as a box-to-box, not as a bloody DM, or more of a 6, looks better straight away. Bentancur playing as more of a DM than getting forward as an 8 or whatever people want to call it. Again, playing the right way, it looks better. Yeah, the double pivot. It looks better because the players are better at playing like that. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we played counter-attack or even attacking football. I just think we went on there and actually played football and looked organised as a team and took our chance when we got it. And then just got complacent in the last 15 minutes and just made an easy enough job that bit harder that it didn't need to be.
I'm getting conflicted. We'll find out because a couple of people are saying.
By the way, I'm also pretty sure you need to get a red to miss a final.
Okay, cool.
Because Joe and Christian are saying the same thing, that if he gets a yellow, he still gets to play Champions League. Big up my brother Michael. We saw the game. We're happy that we won. I'm surprised we didn't get any comments from, but then again, I just said it, so we might get some comments. We're all happy that we won, but we gave them a lifeline. And so it's a twofold question. Your thoughts of the game and how should we play this? Lee posted a quote and saying for the second leg, we're going to attack. I'm saying we should be pragmatic since we know that BODØ is going to be desperate and hit him on the counter. It's a twofold question. Your thoughts on tonight's game, and also should Ange go pragmatic, almost like what he did against City, or stick to his philosophy, attack.
So first of all, quickly with Ange comments, I don't listen to this guy anymore in the press conferences. He keeps chatting shit, and I don't know. I just don't pay attention to what he says. I just want to see the team do everything they can to win, right? And honestly, didn't he make the same comments before Frankfurt? And then we went to Frankfurt and played pragmatically, right? So I think he's just saying this for the sake of it. And yeah, I just checked. According to Google, it doesn't. He doesn't get suspended for 2 yellows in 2 different finals. So I don't know. Like, if someone fact check it too, because like I don't want to be the oracle and say, yeah, this is definite. I read the rule book or anything
Yeah.
like that. That's
Google
just a
says
quick.
that.
You're right.
Like Google says
I,
it, so you know.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know the rules on that one. Whether it was
Yeah.
2 yellows would suspend you or red or whatever.
Yeah,
And either way, it was still a stupid
Yeah.
yellow card to get.
That's something I wanted to say, right? Either way, it doesn't matter if he gets or not, right? That was such a stupid thing to do, right? Because as much as I've seen some people saying he could have been sent off for this, I'm not necessarily in that box because it wasn't like extremely like
it was a
malicious,
yellow.
elbow to the face, but it's just unnecessary risk you take, right? With what he did there. But listen, yeah, let's go back to the beginning to the game, right? I was so pleasantly surprised with the team for 70 minutes of that game. I actually think we controlled the game really well. You could visibly see that not only BODØ were missing like big parts of their team, right? Because they were, but also that they were a bit like I don't want to say starstruck, but I think the occasion kind of got to them. I think there were a lot of loose passes by them. There were plenty of times where we took the ball off them quite, in dangerous areas. We didn't capitalize on everything, but I feel like, as I said, for 70 minutes of that game, I was really seriously pleasantly surprised with what we did on the pitch. And then, as you said, then the last 15 minutes, it kind of looked as if the team got a bit complacent, which is kind of surprising because we've been used to this team just going gung ho for 90 minutes, and suddenly when you would actually like expect us to go gung ho and go for the kill and score the fourth, which completely kills the tie, then we kind of just start sitting back in our own stadium and give them a lifeline. And as much as I think that their goal was a bit, like, I don't want to say a bit lucky, right? But I think if not for the deflection, I think Vicario had it in his arms, right? Because the shot was looking like it was going low and Vicario was diving low. So I think Vicario would have saved it if not for deflection. But this is what you said, Dan, right? It's just complacency, right? We just gave them a lifeline. And with a 3-0 scoreline going to their ground, I would be like 99.9%.
0.9, we're done.
Yeah, we are done because like it's football, mad things can happen, right? But with that 3-1 scoreline, I still think we are going through. I still think we will get to the final. But it's just that, we often talk about the Spurs gene, right? That we've been bitten so many times, every single one of us, right? That when you see things like that, you are just like, shit. That's basically my reaction after we could see it
right here. Why are my fans are so worried we're in the final? You know what?
We are not in the final yet, right, Jordan? Like
I hope our players are not thinking this way.
Yeah.
Be excited. I still think we're pretty much close to the final. But we gave them a lifeline, and I don't want the players thinking like this. I want the players thinking, hey, we need to go and win this game. Got an echo. Someone the cell phone echo.
I think it's Ian because might be Ian.
Yeah, not you. Ian, can you hear us?
Yeah, he's frozen.
You had
No?
headphones.
Oh, he's not frozen.
Because like if the sound of the stream gets to your microphone, then it does a loop, and the loop keeps getting louder. That's what we heard right now. So if you have headphones, just plug them in, because then it won't do that.
It
right?
works a lot better.
Yeah.
I just have to add. It's the fact that we can get to a final now against United and achieve a historic, like legendary even achievement and beat them 4 times in a season. It's that fact, and on the other hand, that we could lose to them when they're like right above us in the table almost, and we're 17th in our worst 2 ever seasons. It's that kind of contrast there that, it makes you think of the worst. That's the thing.
I still hear the echo.
Yeah, that's you, Ian.
Yeah.
Mari, mute Ian. please.
Ian, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I don't think you can.
Can you hear us now?
Dan, now you are muted. I think you forgot to unmute your mic. Dan.
Yeah, my bad. My bad. I'll tell him when he gets back on here. No, that's all he's got
But
to do is go to the
I
settings
don't
and
think
go
he
to the
could.
audio and make sure the speaker diverts to whatever he's got in his ears and that.
Yeah.
Bringing Christmas.
But I will say this, and I thought the atmosphere was great tonight. I think the fans have been so depressed in league form. And tonight you kind of knew we were going to win this game, and so you could hear it with the fans tonight. They were loud, like it was rocking. Even Stell posted on the chat like, "Hey, it's rocking at the stadium," and you like to see that. You want to see that, and so that's why it's so depressing in the league. You know, you see empty seats, you don't hear the fans, but tonight it was like raucous, and this is what we want in our stadium.
Yeah, because we had something to play for.
Yeah.
Like I've said about 6 months ago, the league's done and dusted. It's dead. Okay, every game should matter in that, but whether people like it or not, for the last, let's say, 3 months, the league's done and dusted. It's over. I mean, even fighting for pride was out of the picture. We got something to play for at the moment with these Europa games.
Yeah,
that's why the fans can get behind it. That's why they can get louder.
You can also see it in the players. I think it was visible in the players today. They were running a lot more. They were more decisive. They were more focused. And it's just simple things, right? We always say this. Stelios always says this, right? The best ever atmosphere in that stadium was when we played against Arsenal to clinch that top 4 in first season under Conte, right? And the players had something to play for. The fan base has something to cheer for. And you get a brilliant atmosphere then, right? And also our tifo slaps compared to whatever shite Arsenal showed 2 days ago, right? Sorry, just had to get that in. That
Arsenal
fucking
should have lost that game 5-1. They should have lost that game 5-1, in my opinion.
Really?
I mean, I'm talking only about the fucking tifo that they did, right? What the hell was that?
That was terrible. That was terrible.
Shower curtain.
Lubo, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm just going to try and find. I've been flicking back and forth. The sound's been intermittent.
Okay,
Can you
go on StreamYard?
Can you send the link to my email address and then I can get on the computer and it'll be much better?
I don't have your email. Does any of you guys have his email?
No. Haven't you got WhatsApp set up on your PC?
No, I haven't.
Then just download WhatsApp to your PC, link it to your phone. It takes about 3 minutes.
He's not a tip.
Can you put your email on the private chat, and I'll send you the link.
That's it. Christ, where's the private chat? I don't know where it is. I can't get it up.
On the left-hand side of the comments.
Dan, I'll WhatsApp you my email address because I've got your WhatsApp. I'll WhatsApp. Okay. Cheers. Thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. Honestly, I just thought about it today.
To all the Gunners in the chat, this is what a proper tifo looks like.
Is it Legia? Legia.
Yeah, that was Legia against Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
As much as I don't like Legia that much, like their tifos are fucking amazing.
One of the best in Europe.
Did Chelsea win or?
No, that was 2 weeks ago. The quarterfinal. Yeah, Chelsea won 3-0 in Poland and lost 2-1 at Stamford Bridge. But overall, they went through. And today they won 4-1, I think.
Yeah, against you, Gordon.
Yeah.
Damn,
what's the pronunciation? Sorry, because like that's first time I'm hearing a Swede say the pronunciation.
No, it's difficult. It's not easy. Everybody says your Gordon or it's you Gordon. So it's really like it's long, like elongated in the way you say it. It's Swedish, typical Swedish pronunciation of something.
Okay. So correction, guys. in regards to you cannot, and I've seen more. 12 people have posted, and they went to the UEFA site. You cannot be suspended on yellows for a red card. So he's safe to be reckless. No, just kidding.
No, it's still Romero. Don't get the fucking red card, you bozo.
Yeah, we don't need him to be a bozo, especially with the plastic pitch. Before Ian comes back, Alexander, tell us about this. Like I said, I've seen it, but I still don't know much about it. The atmosphere at BODØ, the pitch, like.
I'm not an expert on them, but in Scandinavian football in general, they're gonna be singing their hearts out from minute 1 to 90 as expected. And I'm telling you, if you know how it is with our players, if we concede early, then especially when you have that, okay, no, we're clinching onto a 1-goal lead now. If we concede early, and it's gonna bring that nervosity to the game, and I think that's gonna make our players lose composure. Because today, you could argue that Bentancur and Bissouma and that double pivot, they stabilized the game and we look solid especially for that during that first half. But I'm telling you, if we concede early, which we can't, we have to be solid. They're not great in the air, BODØ. We can try to utilize that to our advantage and just be compact. If we come out of that second half with not. One second.
I think we just need to go there with a stable plan, basically. And sort of like today, go out, don't do nothing stupid, erratic like we didn't in the first half. Try and get control of the game, pass it around, keep hold of the ball, aggravate them a bit if we need to, and catch them on a counter-attack. We do not need to go there and go all guns blazing. We don't. That is how we will get ourselves caught out, as we usually do, in my opinion. I'm not saying we go up there and shut up shop, because I don't think we're at that stage to do that yet either for 90 minutes. But go there, sit back a little deeper, get control of the game, play the game sensible, don't do nothing stupid, and take it from there. That's my opinion. Be a bit more pragmatic. Yes, I'm not saying we got to shut up shop, but dip back a little bit. We haven't got to go at them all guns blazing. They have got to get at least 2 against us.
Yep. Yeah. Pragmatic. You got to be pragmatic. Second leg.
But Spurs supporters don't like that style of football, do they? A lot of them.
Yeah, and
they liked it when we played Frankfurt away, though. So it all depends. It all depends on what the outcome is. To be honest, it's
Ian, welcome. We finally got you. Yeah, you have the mic. Your thoughts on the game. Your thoughts on the last goal. Your thoughts of the tie being almost wrapped up. Your thoughts.
What did I think? I thought atmosphere before the game was absolutely rocking. It was superb. I thought the first half we played very well. It deserved to be 2-0 up.
Mm-hmm.
Came out second half wasn't quite as good. I think the injuries as well disrupted rhythm. And they came to key players at key times. You look at the stats, 24 shots to their 3, 7 on target to their 1, 13 corners to their 1, 42 touches inside their box to their 8. And I came away flat, to be honest, because it was just a stupid goal to give away. And at 3-0 up, you're nearly there. For me, you're 75% of the way there. You go over there, you get an early goal, it's dead, finished. And now we've let them back into the game. Having said that, they're not as good as Frankfurt, that's for sure. I thought Frankfurt were much better, but it's a plastic pitch that they're used to. So, it's I'd say we're marginally favourites, but that's about it.
Ian, I agree with you totally on what you said on the fact that it's just frustrating that we let in that stupid, complacent Spursy goal. That is the bit that chews on me. And people will say, well, look, we won 3-1. What you moaning about? Well, look, when you want to improve in things, you've got to look at the bad things to improve. And that was another stupid Spursy moment. And to me, that was not down to Ange in one bit. That was 100% complacency of the players, that one.
Okay,
And
they switched
we
off,
have
didn't
given a... Yeah, that was
switched
not down to Ange. That one was down to the
No.
players, 1,000,000%. And we have given them a chance now. Even though we're still going there, I still say we're solid favourites. And as long as we play at least sensible, I think we've got the game. But we all know what Spurs are incapable and capable of doing. And that is imploding at the moment and having moments like that where they got their 4 best players missing there at home and still letting them score a bloody goal. It's frustrating because 3-0, I think that's job done. 85%, 90% job done. 3-1, we've given them a chance.
And you know what, Dan? 3-0 would have been a fair score.
Yeah.
I was just like, for me, when that goal went in, I was just like, oh, we had blood in the water. We had them dead, and we just gave them a lifeline. And
It's annoying. It's the frustration of it, basically. It's the whole Spursy point of it that is frustrating.
Yeah.
But when you saw how we controlled the game, basically, and even in the second half, I don't think we played as good as we did in the first half. I think as soon as Richarlison come off, you lost a bit of aggression. And then as soon as Maddison come off, you lost any coordination up the front with passing forward. I think we looked a bit of a mess up front after them two came off, personally. But again, in midfield, we look stabilised with Basuma and Bentancur actually playing to what they can do. And things look like, we can just keep this rolling. But they got complacent.
I know Alex and Michael Ian came in, and me and Dan, we talked about this. You know, like I said, I don't rate the player, but I will say this last couple of games, I've been seeing some good things with the Charleston. And when I saw this lineup, I wasn't too bothered seeing him in the lineup. Definitely above Tell and Olderberg. With Charleston, can we say maybe, Madison, I think, has been playing the best out of the whole lot. But with Charleston, he deserves his flowers. He's been playing better.
Yeah, it was unusually energetic in that first half, and it was primarily down to the fact that he played on the wing. And the crosses, like during those first 5-10 minutes, I was like, "What? Where are these crosses coming from?" It was quality crosses, some of them. And he set up Johnson for the first goal. He never stopped running. Terrific first half performance. Just sad that we couldn't see it going into the second. Really.
Yeah, everything fine, assuming he's not injured, right? Because we don't know yet why he came off. So, knowing him, he's probably injured now, because that always happens whenever he starts playing well. He always gets injured. So, let's wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, whether he's playing good or bad, when he starts playing, he usually gets injured full stop. So there's no good or bad to it, basically.
Fucking Richie.
With what Richie can give you up front, I don't rate the player. I never will. He's bang average at his very best. Same as Solanke. Bang average at their best. Yeah, they can have moments, but I think one thing Richarlison does give us that I don't think there's many other players in that team that have got it, bar maybe Romero, is to just be a pain in the arse on fucking Ian, man. Is that your one that keeps binging?
It's me. I'll turn it off. It's mine.
He gives you that bit of attitude on the pitch. He can come on and he can just be a pain. He can aggravate other players on there, almost divert their attention because he's being annoying. I think he's the only one up front that has actually got the capability of doing that sort of thing, which in a certain game can be very useful, but you obviously need to be someone to come on and be more than just a pest, basically. And that is one thing I think he is actually good at. And he's also he's pretty solid in the air.
Yeah.
But as an overall striker, I mean, Sava said he thinks he's better than Solanke. Do I think he's better than? I don't know. I just think they're both bang average at best. I just think Richarlison gives you that bit more aggression on that pitch. He's got the bottle to actually go for it, even though he isn't physically built for it. He's just that annoying little prick that would sit next to you in the pub and you just would slap him in the face. And that is one thing he gives us in defence. In attack, that others don't.
Yeah. No, I think it's close. I'll probably give the edge to Richarlison. Just a slight edge to Richarlison. Yeah. The mid.
Charleston and Solanke, huh? What a legendary fucking debate.
And fucking Johnson and Werner on the wing. Why don't we play a 4-2-4? Johnson, Werner, wings, Richarlison, Solanke up top. Let's fucking go.
We talked about Johnson, another player I do not rate, who frustrates me. But without phone line this year, when he gets the opportunity to tap in, he does this. He scores again. Richarlison, his game tonight. What did you guys think?
First half did well. I thought Richarlison did okay. I thought he was a bit greedy. There was one situation he went into the box and he ended up shooting straight at the keeper. And I thought there were better options on.
Yeah, Werner flashback from this.
There were better options, but otherwise, no. I think he did well first half. I think he was fine.
Yeah. I think it showed that he actually came off the pitch.
Yeah.
You know, I think it showed a lot when he came off the pitch, because I don't honestly think Tell brought anything to that game whatsoever, in my personal opinion. I think we actually looked like we took a step down when Richarlison come off, and then when Maddison come off, I think we lost all coordination up front.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what would you start? Would you start Richie in a potential final? How would your starting 11 look like? Because I'm so.
Yeah, I would never said that a month ago, but I'm saying Richie. Find some way to get Richie in that starting lineup, and mind you, that's crazy coming out of my mouth. I have been so critical of this guy since he's come in, but right now I don't want to see Tell at all. I think he's hot garbage. Olderberg, it's nice. I've seen flashes where he go and gets a player. He can get past a player, but his end product is terrible. He has no end product, and so for me, I know earlier they had the debate, Son and Tell, and I'm like, well, as bad as Son is, at least we know if he has some space, potentially score. Where with Tell, I don't see anything. So for me, Richarlison, who has had a pulse, I feel that he's playing a bit better. I'm going to go with the hot hand. And right now, out of this terrible bunch, I don't care if he's a striker or he's playing the wing. You got to have Richarlison there, for me. But the question I will say is, for the next game that we play, I honestly think now is the perfect time, right? Because we're going to rotate the players. You got to let Mikey Moore get some minutes the next game. You just got to.
Yeah, Mikey Moore is not playing to the.
No, I'm not talking about this BODØ. I'm talking about Premier League game, the next game.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm talking about
who should have happened a couple of times. It's not going to happen. He's not going to do it. Not in my opinion. It's not happening. Mikey Moore's going to be lucky if he sees 15 minutes on the pitch. Same as Archie Gray's going to be lucky if he sees 15 minutes on the pitch. And Bergvall's out now, yeah? The only reason any of them ever bloody played, including Spence, was purely because of injuries.
But the game
what you said there with Mari,
yeah,
and Richarlison, if I go by this season, I'm just go by the end of it. I mean, we are so shambolic up front at times. It is shocking, even though we have a +10 goal ratio. I think Son has been that diabolical this season that I would probably, at this moment in time, start Richarlison over Son. Because please, someone do tell me anything that Son has offered this entire season when he has played, bar maybe 1 or 2 goals.
He's had about 20 goals and assists, Dan.
Who, Son?
Yeah.
The guys were talking about it earlier on Salva's stream, and and we all agree Son has regressed. It's been a terrible year.
Yeah.
But in comparison to Tell and we're just saying that, there's one advantage that Son has over Tell is just that in some of those opportunities, I trust Son more than Tell. It's not saying much, but that's how much Tell is terrible. So
You still know Son has those magical kind of glimpses of moments he can produce.
Yeah.
I mean, like a flick that leads on to to a goal or whatever. He still has that in him. So honestly, if it comes down to it and Son is fit, then I will start him in the final. Not that it's the same with with Kane that we started him over Lucas in the Champions League final, but I think just Son has that none of our other wings have. They don't have that magical kind of moment they can produce. I don't think none of them have that.
Well, he'll play,
7 goals, 10
he'll play
assists.
reserve team Sunday, won't he? At West Ham.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This is a perfect game to let those guys get some minutes. If you want to protect those players.
No, listen, he'll play Spence, Stanso, Gray, Davis, Moore.
Yeah.
There's 5 that I reckon he'll start on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, look, the other thing, like people saying this Sonny hate, I think people use the word hate too easy. Hate is when you despise something and basically want it to die. That is what the word hate means. It is the opposite of love. I don't hate Sonny. Other people don't hate Sonny. I just couldn't give a shit about Sonny and the rest of the players, whether they've done this and this and this for us, and that I should keep them longer through the moral stage. I care about Tottenham winning. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You don't win if you let a player stay too long who's done his dues. He's done his dues. Well done, mate. Fair play, credit. But you're not good enough anymore. Time to go. That is what a ruthless winning team does. But no, what do Spurs do? We're too hangy on. We're too clingy. We love our player. Oh, he's played so well for us for 12 years. Brilliant, mate. Well done. It's appreciated, but you're not good enough anymore. Time to go. We need to get better. That is what I call a winning mentality. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against him. Like I say, I don't care what he does on or off the pitch or any of the other players. If they want to go and play Monopoly all day or want to go and be a fucking unicorn, I couldn't care less. As long as they perform on the pitch, that is all I am bothered about. And at the end of the day, whether people like it or not, Son is now reached his peak and gone past his peak, and he is going down. That is what happens when a player gets older. It is what it is. Time to go. Get someone better in. That is what a real winning club does, a big club, in my opinion.
Do you know what's so funny? Mo Salah is only 6 months older than Son. They said it the other day. I was like, wow. So
do you know what the difference is?
Yes.
Do you know what the difference is? Salah does not rely purely on his speed. Salah can control the ball. Salah can drift and do as he pleases and everything else. Son is one of those players who, for me, was never a world-class player. World-class finisher, yes, he was. Yes. But as all he had with him was pace. He couldn't really dribble the ball well. He was good at knocking it past the man and running through it. Brilliant. Use your pace. But that's why players that rely on their pace end up usually having a shorter career than players who don't rely on their pace, like a Harry Kane or a Wayne Rooney as such.
Yeah, but you can say now with Salah, like his pace isn't his strongest side. Slot has managed to utilize. He's about to have the most high. What is it? The most GA in a single Premier League season ever this season. Mm-hmm. I think it's one or two more he has to register, but Slot utilizes him for all of his strengths, and
exactly.
I think the last manager to do that for us was Conte, really. That got the best out of Son in that aspect when he went on to win the Golden Boot that season. And Ange doesn't. He does the opposite of what Son's strengths are. Like it's so abundant. And what do you expect from him? From an agent Son that loses his pace, and you're just going to see the worst out of him, honestly. If you don't utilize his strengths in a system, because I look at Liverpool, their entire system, most of it, especially in the final, like it's revolving Salah and his output, because they know he's world class in that department.
To keep him in the game.
Yeah, they're going to get goals and assists out of him. So they revolve their attacking system out of Salah. It's not a basic 2 winger, 1 forward system. Salah is their primary, like, what do you want to call it? Yeah,
He's almost a drifter on there, isn't he? Because he's
they're
not
main-
exactly a winger. He's not exactly inside.
Yeah.
Just play your game, innit? And the team cover him, sort of thing.
And we don't do that with Son. We don't have a manager that bothers enough tactically to get that best out of him. He, if I can say something, he's bothered enough to get the best out of Johnson, who you can see now. Because I think Johnson has been coached to come into these positions. And if you can do that with Johnson, why can't you do that with Son? And why can't you adapt the system? I don't know. Is it because it's a Scotland boy? You know, it's a Scotland £50 million boy that he has to justify the price tag of? I don't even know, honestly. But I think
you're 100% right on what you're saying, because we don't really play any of the players really to their advantages, to their actual out and out strengths. It's just me for a player. Son, he's not completely finished as a player, but I think he should be finished at Spurs, because I think even another manager that comes in and plays Son to his best, yeah, you'll see a bit better out of him. But I personally think he's reached his peak and he's on his way down now. And that's at the end of the day where you've got to be ruthless. Again, dog eat dog world. You've had your time. We can still get 40 million for you in Saudi Arabia. See you later, mate. Why should I care what goes on in his life after that, when all I want is Tottenham to win? I'm sorry, I'm not a sentimental person. And it's not disrespecting him. He's done brilliant at the club. But for me, we need better now. Same as we need better than others on what we got as well. You can't just live on history. If you just love on history, then you might as well keep the player till he's in a bloody wheelchair.
Yeah.
Michael, great question by Bryce. Since his injury, has Kulu had the first half of the season purple patch? Because this second half of the season, Kulu, in my opinion, has regressed to all the complaints I had about him last season. Your thoughts on?
I mean, we've seen him twice for like 60 minutes combined, right? So maybe I wouldn't go as far as to say that he's regressed or that the previous thing was a purple patch, because it's like.
But even before he got injured, it was.
Yeah, he played like 40 games in a row, 90 minutes each, right? So
like, he had them almost. Either way,
I don't know. I kind of give him a bit of leeway, right?
Like, honestly, now going forward, especially like during the end of this season, I don't think we should play Kulu centrally. I don't think his energy hasn't been showing, and I think you get the best out of him if you just put him on the right wing, try to make him cross the ball into the box, just have him as a cross source. And from what I've seen this season, I think Odegaard can do a job in the 10, because the games where he's been centrally, I'm not saying he has the physicality.
Yeah, I think he's a bit too lightweight.
He has that energy to progress the ball up forward to the pitch, and I've seen it in games when I don't know if it's been temporary, but when we hit teams on the counter and Odegaard drives with the ball forward in midfield, he's. So I'm not saying it like Ange will do it. I don't think. I think Ange is just gonna stick with Johnson. I think if he has the choice, he's gonna start Johnson in the final if we reach it, and it's just the option of who do you put on the right wing as our backup, Kulusevski or Odegaard? Because I don't think he in midfield. I don't know if it's pure fitness right now, or something else. Because today wasn't really a bright display, and those misses, I don't even know. He has to look up more and be more aware. I couldn't really see the energy from him, but hopefully if we play him, start him in some Prem against West Ham, knows, then he'll get up to speed, because today wasn't near enough.
Laurie, I'm gonna head off. Thanks, mate. I'm absolutely shattered.
I can see that in your face.
I was on the motorway at 6 o'clock this morning, driving up to the Midlands. So I had a full day there and straight off to Spurs. So please excuse me. Disappointing night. Better performance. Just got to do our stuff next Thursday, haven't we?
Yeah,
basically.
Fingers crossed. And what a result for United. Jesus. Who was
I was going to get to that. But thank you, Ian. Get some rest, brother.
Thanks, guys. Cheers, guys.
Right.
Cheers.
John, the the date of the final is Wednesday, May 21st, which is a couple of days after the Premier League ends. We'll maybe looking ahead because we still got to play the second leg. But the big elephant in the room is that United just won 3-0. I don't think Bilbao is. I pretty much. I think it's done because it's at Old Trafford. I don't see how Bilbao is going to come back. And then probably they'll come back and they'll go penalty kicks. It's been a crazy Europa. But we play United in the final. Can you imagine the Newcastles, the Forests, the Chelseas, the cities who are fighting to get to the Champions League, where you have United, they are 14th, I think, and we're 16th. It'll be the battle for Champions League. Like, make that make sense to me. But
for our fan base, it has to mean so much. Like it does. It means so much more. For United, when was it? They won the Europa League 7, 8 years ago.
7 years ago, I think. Yeah,
it was in Sweden. It was in Sweden too. So I remember that vividly. But
was it Jose coach?
Say again.
Jose won the Europa League.
Yeah, and it means more for us. Not that it will matter, but I think the fact that a club like United that has taken the piss out of us for decades, us getting so you have to contemplate it being an all English final, and us getting to that final, what it would mean for me personally as a Spurs fan to beat United in the final compared to Bilbao. Bilbao would be like, okay, we beat them at home. Wow, absolutely great, wonderful. But to beat United, what that would mean for me emotionally is just on another level. That club, they've taken the piss out of us for decades. And if we won against them in a final, which I don't think we've ever done, if I'm not, I can't even remember. But I don't think we have. And if we win against them in a final European final that sees them being without Europe next season and gets us into the Champions League, where we have won, it's 4 times now. It's 4 times in one season we've beaten them. 4 times that'll be historic. We'll never do that again, I can promise you. 4 times in one season. It would be legendary, and I would enjoy that like no one else, because to beat them in the final, they couldn't say anything to us within the upcoming years. Nothing. We could just use that, and it would gain us respect. Honestly, it would gain us respect again on the map, and I think it'll gain us massively in the transfer window, because we'll actually have something to pull players with, attract players with.
Yeah, I will put that with a caveat, because I honestly think players and their agents are smart enough to know, despite having Champions League, that if Ange, which I think he's gone, but if he's here, players might be hesitant to want to do. I don't think it's automatically a given. Champions League tag, okay. Players are openly, willingly. I think will proceed with caution, but yeah, no, it would be crazy. Literally, I would be in tears if we did win the Europa.
If we go and win this Europa, yeah, I really want to win it, same as the rest of us want to win it. But one thing, I'll just be totally honest with it, yeah. If we win this Europa, and then everyone starts going around, running around like I think a lot of people will do, saying Ange has had a great season. Even if he wins this Europa, the man needs to go. He's not good enough as a consistent overall manager for the English Premier League. I mean, some of that crap we have actually played in Europe, we should be walking through half of those teams. And even teams like Carrier-Bag, we still struggled against, whether we put our second team on or not. He's not good enough to be our manager. And it is as simple as that. And yeah, if he goes and wins the Europa, we've got to literally stand here and go, technical, he's the best manager we've had in 40 years. By a CV sort of thing. Because he won something. Most successful. Yeah, that's the word.
I hate when they say that.
I still think that even if we win this Europa League, I still can't see how people can turn around and say overall we have had an excellent season, apart from turn it on Arsenal and say, well, at least we won something, even though you finished second.
Oh.
It's been a terrible season, even if we win. Even if we win that Europa, it's just going to be that bit of excitement at the end of it that just sort of made it all half worth it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, 100% agree. 100%
Guys,
agree.
I just want that monkey off our back. I got to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
no, seriously, that's all I care about at this point. It's like I am sick and tired of like every single discussion that our fans have on like Big Six channels and all that stuff, and every single time it's always, oh, you win nothing, oh, why are you talking about trophies, oh, why this, why that, right? You are Spurs, like treating us like we are fucking Norwich or something, right? Like it's again, like I agree, and I will keep repeating this club has been shambolic for the best part of 2 decades, right? And all the decisions that they made have been trash, right? But it's still not a small club. It's still a club with beautiful history and a club that can be respected, right? But that's why all I care about this season is this fucking trophy, right? If we can win it, and especially if we did it against United, right? That's also something that's another like, call it a monkey off our back, right? Because everyone just keeps saying, oh, you never win against like big clubs, and you cave in the pressure moments and all that stuff, and we can't even like rebuke that, right? We can't even fight against that, because it's true. Like, all of us will admit that whenever this club is faced with a tough moment, a tough opposition, we just cave in, right? So for me there is nothing more important than that, right? And this is actually like one bit of hope I have left in this season, right? I actually was excited today, right? I actually got pissed off when we conceded the goal, which I've mentioned plenty of times that no longer happens to me, right? I just don't care when we concede, right? Whereas today I actually did, right? Today I actually watched that game and I was pissed off that we conceded the goal, right? Because I care about this competition.
I will say this, and then I'll throw it to Stell. Big up Stell. If people go by that logic that he's one of our most successful managers, then they're basically saying that Juan de Ramos, right, though he has that
It's just on
quality,
paper.
is better because he has that trophy than Redknapp and Ponch. And so we'll have to go through that logic that Juan de Ramos and Ange, if he wins the Europa, were better than those managers.
No,
So
it's just a one-dimensional stat.
Well, let me land. That's why I hate. That's why I hate that saying. Oh, if he brings the Europa, he's successful. That's just one entity. The other 3 entities, the domestic cups, terrible, and the league, terrible. See, this is where people I question their intelligence. Right? You take one entity, Europa League, it doesn't cancel out the 3, the domestic. Right? I put the domestic together of cups and the league. He is so bad in the league that he luckily pushes even by winning that Europa League. So that's why I don't subscribe to that saying. But
the thing is, Murray, it's a fact. It's a fact.
Yeah,
if you have actually success on your CV and paper, he can say fact. He has been more successful at Spurs than Poch. Fact, because he has a Europa Cup on him. Whether he finished 17th 3 seasons on the trot, fact, he's got a cup on his hands. He's done better than Poch.
And
you can't say otherwise. I'm not saying he's a better manager. I'm not saying I'll give it all up. I'm just saying fact at the end of the day, yeah? The numbers talk. The money talks. The cup talks at the end of the day on the CV. Poch would show 4 good seasons, basically, a final, this and that, whatever else. Ange would show 2 seasons and a trophy.
Would that go for any trophy?
But listen,
well,
it doesn't.
What did Poch win at Spurs? What did Poch win?
No. I agree with you. I
So
agree with you.
anyone who comes into Spurs and even wins us a League Cup has won more for us than Poch did.
Yeah, but it doesn't diminish. It doesn't diminish the fact. Like this is my clear way of thinking about it. If you put Ange into when Poch started his project, he could never do what Poch did.
Yeah.
I
This
agree. I
Ange-
don't
Yeah,
think he's a capable manager.
But if you put Poch in Ange's place during this term when he went through this Europa League, I had full confidence that he would win this competition. You could put those parallels against each other, and that's where I would say you got the better manager in Poch 100%. There's no debate about it. But that one-dimensional stat, okay, he's won
Yeah,
a trophy. He's been
but
more.
I think that's what Dan means, right? That Ange is not a better manager, but he's a more successful manager, and you can't really argue against that, right? And this is also something. This is so fucking stupid that we are placed in such a situation. Because I was talking with friends of mine, like United, Chelsea, Liverpool supporters, and they asked me like, what happens if Ange wins this competition, right?
Here.
And
This right here. This
what
right
do-
here.
yeah, what do we do with Ange, right? And I told them like he has to go. Like the best course of action would be if he resigns after this season, right? And they're like, yeah, but you are Tottenham. He won you a trophy, right? I was like, mate, we've been fucking dog shit for best part of 18 months, right? With occasional, here and there good performance, right? I'm not suffering through another season of that, right? Which is so mad to say because I would never expect when I started supporting this club that I would be placed in a position where I would want a manager gone, even if he wins a European trophy, right?
Yeah,
This is such a mad thing to say, and they honestly, I had to like explain it further to them. I had to like give my reasoning for such like thought process, right? And they kind of agreed with me, right? Because they aren't like deluded; they see what's going on in the league, right, with us, but. It's just so ridiculous, right? And by the way, with United and Spurs fans, right? I let everyone I've been talking to, right, in my in my social bubble, let's call it here in Poland, I call it a hobo final, right? I basically think it's like if you threw a fucking 5-pounder between two hobos and allow them to fight for it, right, to the death. That's what United and Spurs final is, right? Because that's basically how both teams are performing. Like that's how I see it, boys. I don't know if you agree with me, but it's honestly ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous that two clubs that are 14th and 16th in the league can reach a final in a European competition.
I haven't heard that term. I'm being really honest. I haven't heard that. Since I stayed in Rome, because we have a lot of hobos and gypsies, and so I haven't heard that term. I was like, oh man, I haven't heard that term in a long time and that was in 2010 when I was in Italy.
But like we have a perfect word for like homeless alcoholics in Polish, right? But obviously, like if I use it, you guys won't understand it, right? But I think the closest like translation to it is a hobo. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, right? But that's basically a thing for me, right? That's we are basically like a homeless alcoholic at this point. Spurs are homeless alcoholics, and we are somehow on the verge of getting into a European final. So, like, yeah.
I just have to add something quickly before we move away from this conversation. People, the amount of people I say that just every social media platform, they go, oh, but Ange can improve with better players, and the comparisons they made to Flick yesterday, that Flick plays with a high line, he's just as open, just that he has more quality to his game. And the way that made me lose it, because Flick will sacrifice his style for results when it doesn't fit, and he'll adapt to get results. He will win leagues despite, and will never do that. And I can just go on to say that despite all those things, he can improve with more time with better players. No, you have one constant that he's never been able to manage or navigate around, and that's his injury crisis. It's been with him wherever he goes. If we go into next season with 2 games a week, playing in even more intense competition, not playing against Ferencváros, Karabags, like intense Champions League games, we're going to have another crazy injury crisis, and it's all going to fall off again.
Yeah.
So there's no sustainable future for this manager. Whatever he does, and if he wins it, I'll give my credits to him. I'll say, okay, thank you for giving us this opportunity to build on something, but it's time to move on. It's time to find someone that can actually have a project going that can uplift the club, because we're just in the gutter right now. We're in the gutter, and Ange is not gonna take it out, like take us out of it. Even with the Europa League, he's not gonna bring us like to the top. He won't.
Did you hear his review on TalkSport when they compared the two reviews to him and Man U's manager?
Right. Yeah.
Basically, when you heard them both talk, Ange was giving reasons on why this would be a fantastic season if we win this and everything, and pushing on it and pushing on it and pushing in it. Whereas the other fella, I can't remember his bloody name now, the Man U manager, turned around and blatantly said on there, yes, we need to win this Europa Cup because it can get us up to another level, to get us into the Champions League, to improve on ourselves. But even if we win this cup, we have had an awful season, dreadful season, terrible season, disaster. And we have got to improve, and I have got to find out the problems. Ange don't take no responsibility for nothing, and even tries and diverts it over. But the fact is that you can come to a club like Tottenham and finish 17th, and just because we won our first cup in 17 years, he's had a spectacular season. I think that just shows how much of a shit street this club is in. When Man U can turn around and say they're going to finish 15th, 16th, possibly win the Europa and get in the Champions League, and be actually disappointed with the season.
Yeah, that's the thing. I never heard our players use the word. I've heard with United, the players, they've said disaster. It's an unacceptable season. It's appalling. With our players, the only thing I've heard is it's not been a good season. You know, it's been disappointing. It's been disappointing. It's been disappointing. Like the way we use words. If you could just compare that, you can go in such analysis of that. It's crazy.
It's there. When it comes down to it, it's there. And this is what they're used to. They'll celebrate when they win the Europa because they're going to Champions League whatsoever. But it's still not to United standards. All right, let me finally get Stell in here because people have been chomping at the bit to hear him speak. Have your say, Stell. Tonight's game.
Hello, Murray, Michael, Alex, Dan. Big up to you boys as always. Thanks to Murray for running the show tonight. Everyone in the chat, God bless you all. Hope you're doing well. Listen, man, I don't know if this is going to go down too well. You know me, I'll keep it real. all season, I've been saying we're not going to win the Europa Cup. We're not going to win the Europa Cup. And I've been saying for some time now, and I've said it all week. I said it on We Are Tottenham TV after the Liverpool game. I said it on Savage Show yesterday and this morning. I said it on our show on Monday. I said it on Charlie's show on Tuesday. Right? I've said it on 5 different occasions in the space of a week. I repeat, we are going to play that one team we don't know much about. And my worry is we're going to underestimate them. We're going to be in control. And when we least expect it, they're going to stun us. And we're going to say, what the fuck just happened? And we're going to come out of the game and we're out. And I said that I'm a bit worried it might be BODØ. We dominated them from start to finish. We dicked on them. We bossed them. We owned them. Guys, you cannot play a team at the atmosphere tonight was fantastic, by the way. Right? It was brilliant in the stadium. The pre-match was wild. And to go 1-0 up in the first minute, it's the dream ticket. It's like jackpot. Cha-ching-ching. Cha-ching, come on. It's meant to be. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, right, put your foot on their necks and choke them. Finish them. Slow, 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 passive. But what are we doing? Kill them. They're there for the taking, man. Eat them. They're there to be ripped to pieces. Slow, slow. And I'm like, they've got nothing up top. They're going long. They've got nothing. I mean, 2-0 at half time. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, 2-0, all right. I'm looking at my phone. Man United, 3-0 up. Bilbao down to have got a red card, and I'm saying to myself, shit, I don't want Man United in the final. I don't want Man United in the final. I don't want an English club in the final. I don't want this. I'm worried about it. I hate that. Assuming we get to the final. And then, second half, we have guys, I don't think Spurs played good tonight. I'm being honest with you. I don't think we were anything special. I think BODØ were awful. They had nothing. But this is what they do on the road. And I've been saying it all week on every show. I've been saying,
It's true.
BODØ have got this knack of staying in the tie. They do this. And I said
2 goals at home.
And I said, right, Savage shows, Charlie's, ours, we are Top TV. All the receipts about it. I said, anyhow, we're 3-0 up and they somehow get a goal and it's 3-1, they're in the tie. They're in the tie. Guys, they're in the tie. This is everything I didn't want. And this is the Spurs shit, housery, oh my God, what's going on, that no one's really understanding. I did an interview with 5 BODØ fans after the game. I put the video up on Tottenham away. The video's up now. They're all Vikings, man. They're all 6'10", all of them. I was like a midget. And I was talking to them, and I said to them, look, Sava's in the chat. I was saying it to Sava yesterday as well. But I said it to everyone. BODØ stay in the tie. And, you know, Sava, Charlie, many others, they were saying, yeah, but look at the injuries they've got. And I said, I agree. We should win 5-6-0 tonight. I totally agree. We should win 5 or 6-0. But if they stay in the tie, this is what they do. And they've done it. They've stayed in the tie. Now, I'm not going to just say we're out, because I said we need to beat Frankfurt 3-0 and otherwise we're out. And we went to Frankfurt, we got the result. So don't take what I say as gospel. But I spoke to the BODØ fans after the game. And I said to them, are you happy with the result? And they all said, yeah, we're happy. I said, but you lost. How can you be happy? Because it could have been 4, 5, 6. You guys were good. And I said, but you still lost. How can you be happy? And they said, because on our pitch, at our ground, different. I go, what do you mean? They go, we've got this player back, that player back. At home, we're more attacking. And I said, we have been discussing that about your away game on YouTube and how your pitch is difficult. And we've only got 400 fans going. And I said to them, like, be really honest with me, guys. How confident are you tonight of going through? And they said, yeah, we're very confident. But come on, like, how though? Where is it coming from? Honestly, guys, they think they've got a real chance. And I said to them, what chance do you give yourselves? Like, and they said 50-50. I said, we are 3-1 up and you're saying 50-50. And they said, yes. They said, if we get the first goal, you're not going to like it. You're Spurs. It's your history. I'm like, don't tell me you've been watching all that as well on YouTube, the history of Tottenham. Like, is it everywhere we go, people seem to know it. And,
We're the most hated club.
and this was the killer to me. I said to them, but guys, if you come at us, this is what we're good at. We're good if you give us space in behind. We're the second top scorers in the Premier League. We're actually good at that. And he goes to me, really? I said, yeah. And I showed him. Like, go watch the interview I did with them. And then he goes to me, but yes, you played against a team that's not good, Tamworth. He brought that up. The BODØ guy brought up Tamworth. Go watch the video. And I said to him, you know when you're just getting humbled by people from a village. Listen, top blokes, man. Big up to all of them.
People from the village,
Villagers. And I said to him, and I said to the guys, I said, do you know what, boys? I've been saying all along, my worry is if you stay in the tie, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried. And I'm not being hypochondriac. And he goes to me, look, when you come, you see. They're confident, guys. I'm telling you, their fans are confident. And he said to me, this is a fairy tale for us. We're in dreamland. And I said, who do you think is going to get to the final? And they said, we think we're going to do it. And I said, well, look, if you do, I hope you beat Man United because it looks like it's going to be Man United. And they said to us, no, if it's just one-off game, we're actually not good at that, as in BODØ aren't good at that. They're good at this two-leg business. And he said it's all because of our home ground. It's all because of the home tie. he did big up the players missing. He said, look, the players we've got missing are very good. They're not average. They're very good. And they are going to make a difference. So listen, guys, for me, if it was 3-0, 4-0, I'd be sitting here saying, guys, we fucking did our job. We're through. But what we have done is we have left the door open. They are in the tie. They're in the tie. And I fully blame Ange. I 100% blame him because we weren't aggressive enough. We weren't intensive enough. We should have exploded on them at 1-0. We should have ripped them, man. And it was so slow and passive. Our corners were shit tonight. Our corners were nowhere near good enough. And there were times when we attacked, and I'm like, Tell, will you fucking go at them? Tell and Richarlison tonight were awful. Awful.
No, I don't think Richarlison was that bad in the first half. I think we actually missed him when Tell come on.
He done nothing. He set up the goal, the header. He done nothing. He missed shots. He missed through balls. For me, the best player on the pitch tonight was Bentancur. I thought Bentancur was excellent.
Apart from that moment he had where he drifted off, which he always does and always has done, I thought Bentancur and Basuma were two of the best players on the pitch. Why? Because we played them the right way. I agree with what you said. If we went there, if it was 3-0, I mean, I thought it was going to be 1-1 personally, because I just have no faith in this team or manager. But 3-1, 3-0, I was like, yeah, pretty much, I'd say 80% job done. We can go there on a 3-0 and do that. Where they got that goal.
Saba says Basuma was good tonight. Basuma was good as well tonight, by the way. Basuma, that's one of the best games he had.
Basuma. That's what I said. Bentancur and Basuma. Sorry. I'd say they was our best players on the pitch. And I think by letting that go in, we have given that little taste of blood, that chance. And when you look at their records in Europe, they usually score 2 or more at home. And they have done things. And the fact that we just gave them that goal in the most Spursy, complacent way is just what really pissed me off with the game.
So, to go on your point, did you hear what Ange said after the game?
I've heard nothing. I've been in the traffic.
Well, he says,
in London traffic.
Well, this is what he said. We're going pragmatic. No, he didn't say that. He said, we're going to attack in the second leg. With a 2-goal lead, he's going to attack. So if he plays all guns blazing, high line,
listen,
Tottenham has a chance of getting. They're already back in the tie, but they have a chance to equalize.
Murray, they had one chance the whole freaking game, and they scored. One.
Yeah.
They are not going to have one chance in BODØ.
Yeah.
They are not having one. They're going to have many. I'm telling you now, guys.
We're not going to play pragmatic.
If we get the first goal, the tie's done. If they get the first goal, it's advantage to them on their pitch, and it's going to be Dinamo Zagreb all over again. And I'm just really. I know a lot of fans are happy tonight because we won, but let me tell you this: when they scored, the stadium went quiet, and for the next 8 minutes, the atmosphere was dead. You could feel everyone was deflated. Everyone. I'm not making it up. Speak to other fans, and outside the stadium, it weren't a good atmosphere afterwards. It was quiet. Do you know who was in a bit of a party mood? The BODØ fans. They were quite happy with it, and I'm trying to make sense of it, mate. I'm like, but we won 3-1. Why are we all like this? And I think deep down, a lot of Spurs fans now thinking, "Fuck, this isn't quite as good as what it should have been." And now everyone's looking at that tie thinking, "I hope we don't go 1-0 down." I don't get why we didn't go for the kill. I don't understand why we didn't. The intensity just wasn't there, man. Romero gets on the ball. He's like, calm down, slow down. What do you mean slow down? Go for it. The wingers get the ball. Johnson scored a goal tonight. Well done, Johnson. He did fuck all for the rest of the game.
Yeah, as usual.
He did fucking nothing. Madison, by the way, brilliant goal by him, man. Honestly, he took it down, beat the goalie. He saw the defenders coming across. Well done to him, man. It was an excellent goal. But otherwise, guys, we weren't free-flowing, pinging the ball around, bombarding them. We weren't. We really weren't. We dominated the position, and we had them push back from a bit of the game. But in terms of, did we look ruthless and a team that's going to put 5, 6, 7 past them? No. And I hope it doesn't come back to bite us, because that was the home advantage. We should have. They were there for the taking, man. They were so there for the taking, big time. They really were.
I agree. They were. I think, and when Richarlison come off, I honestly think we stepped down a little level. And then when Maddison came off, there was just no coordination up front whatsoever in any sort of passing. I thought for the game itself, for the first half, it just looked like there was some coordination there. It looked like there was an idea there. The players knew what they were there to do, whatever else. Yes, could have been more ruthless than that. I totally agree. But 2-0 up in the second half. Okay, let's take it from there. No, we didn't attack. We didn't go for it. And that, like I said, when Maddison came off, I thought we just were just totally, the passing up front was absolutely shocking. I thought Richarlison didn't have a bad game. I thought he was significantly better than Tell when he came on and offered a bit more to the game. And when it goes to 3-0, yeah, fine. I'm okay with that. Shut up shop and counter if you need to. 3-0, fine. But we got complacent in the last 15, 20 minutes, I'd say, when it started getting patchy out there and let in a very Spursy, complacent, stupid goal. That is how I see the game. I understand your point. Yeah, go for the kill and everything. But when you're 3-0 up, we keep saying, like, okay, 3-0 up, shut up shop or calm down, Ange. Control the game.
Dan,
Don't go gung-ho and concede two.
If we were playing Brighton, Liverpool, Newcastle, Crystal Palace, shut shop. This BODØ team did nothing. They did nothing. There was some nice... I tell you what, they're calm on the ball. They pass it tidily. They're crisp with their passing. And when they get into the final third, the last 15 minutes, they began to find a couple of quick 1-2s and got in the box, but with no real edge to it. So I can see there's a team that can play football here. Let's see what they're like on their home pitch. I reckon they're a tidy side. But for me, this team... They were there for a 6-7-8 nil tonking tonight. They were there for it. And why not do it and end the tie? Now, because he didn't do it, this is my pushback to what you said. Now, because he didn't do it, that second leg is alive. It's alive. And it shouldn't be. We should have ripped them, torn them 5-6 nil. They're not coming back from that. No team's coming back from that. But now we've
on the other side of
that second tie, it's alive now. It's alive.
I'm 100% with you on that, yeah. But then with a lot of us, you included, have said many a time, like, right, certain amount up, it's time to shut up shop. 3-0 for me is shut up shop.
Against certain teams, not both.
No. Against
at home.
Any. No, with Tottenham, against any team, even if it's fucking Tamworth or Coventry. Why? Because we do this Tottenham thing of then conceding stupid goals, the same goals every game, yeah? So 3-0 up, in my opinion, purely, shut up shop, go for the counter-attack. But we got complacent anyway, where we didn't even shut up shop, and they got their bloody goal.
I get
what you're saying on, if anything, in the first half.
When you're 1-0 up,
I think we should have gone for the kill.
When you're 1-0 up after 55 seconds, the manager's instruction should be rip them. Rip them. Rip them. Okay. The atmosphere was electric. Do you know when that goal went in, I thought the roof was going to blow off the stadium. It was nuts. It was mental in there. And I'm thinking, fucking let's kill them. And I'm like, how? How have we only scored 3? How? And they score.
Anticlimactic, yeah.
Their best player, guys, their best players were all missing. All of them.
This is why I said this goal that we've let in is a thing to them. And I'm with you with what you're saying. I think in the first half, we should totally finished off the game in the first half, basically, yeah? But for me, again, it's a personal opinion. When you're in the second half, your teammate, we weren't looking good in the second half. We weren't looking as in control as we were in the first half. We're 3-0 up. Right, take your 3-0, shut up shop. People say we can't defend. Are you telling me if we ended up going 3 at the back and basically doing what we did at Frankfurt for 10, 15 minutes, that we can't do that on our ground against fucking BODØ Glimt? That is what I personally feel we should have done, and then walked off with a 3-0 up to their place, 3-0. Sometimes I agree, take it off, finish it. But when you're 3-0 up, being Spurs is who we are, why take that risk? Then for me, the manager, I would have shut up shop personally.
Our midfield, and at least one of the strikers and the overlapping fullbacks had more than enough tonight to destroy this team, BODØ. They had more than enough with home advantage. And you know what? I really, really hope now. I really hope it doesn't come back to bite us. I do, because
I agree.
there's nothing greater than for Spurs to be in a final. Because if that atmosphere tonight was something, the final's going to be electric. So I really hope it's not the case. But this is what BODØ have been doing the whole competition. This is what they've been doing. They're not that great on the road, but they somehow stay in the tie. And at home, mate, they've caused upset after upset after upset at home.
Yeah.
They-
Still,
they
I just had
usually
that
score more than two.
honestly. Something that stuck in my head was, I think it was in the, it just pissed me off in the 80th, 85th minute, something like that. We had the ball at the back room. I think it was Romero, and he just passed the ball to Porro. Porro passes it back. Romero looks around. He passes it back to Porro. Porro passes it back, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's 3-1 still. Where's the reaction to the goal? You know, they just scored. They just scored, and our players, it's like they didn't want to push forwards and score a fourth. And that it just burned into me, because I was like,
we had chances to get the fourth and fifth, but unfortunately, look, their goalie made an unbelievable save in the first half. I don't know how he fucking saved it.
That
was so
Bentancur
much.
shot. Excellent,
It was
excellent save.
honestly, we all jumped up goal, and I don't know where he got that save from, but he did.
Brilliant
But
save.
oh man, in the second half though, there was chances where Adogi could have squared it to Johnson back post, and he goes near post with the shot. It's like,
That was
what are you doing?
that was Soderbergh, by the way.
Was it Odegaard? Okay,
Yeah.
Odegaard. Sorry, there was times when we got the ball out wide for the counter.
I think
You know Madison's goal.
I
Do you know?
can say something.
You go, Michael. Go. No, go.
Sorry, mate, because I actually wanted to back you a bit with what you said, right? After today, I kind of like had a feeling that we really missed an opportunity to just slap them up, right? Because you could see after that first goal, and I said it when I came on here, right? I said it. You could see that they were starstruck by the occasion. Like you could see in their faces that with the whole like context of them missing the players because of suspensions and the injuries and the fact that they scored that they conceded. Sorry, yeah. I honestly feel like this was the prime.
They had no expectations.
Yeah, this was the prime opportunity to just slap your dick on the table. Like this is how big mine is, right? Show me yours. Basically, that's what we could do today, and we didn't, right? And especially in the first half, I felt like there wasn't enough like intention behind what we did. I felt like we were a bit slow where we didn't really need to be, right? And also like I want to add a bit of context with that reverse tie, right? Which is why I am a bit worried, as I said, right? I don't think that's as done as some people think it is, right? But let's keep in mind, Madison came off with an injury today, right? We don't know what's going on with him. And Solanke came off with an injury. We don't know what's going on with him, right? I know Solanke has not been great recently, right?
Michael, by the way, can I just quickly say to you, Kulu, he's nowhere near the levels of Madison in the 10. Yeah. He's not. He came on. He didn't even come close.
We were saying that earlier.
Not today.
Yeah.
Sorry, Michael. You finish. I just wanted to say that.
So like, yeah, Madison possibly injured. Solanke possibly injured. Son apparently is out till the end of the season. Now Bergvall might be out till end of the season, right?
Bergvall was on crutches at the game.
Yeah, Bergvall was in crutches, right? And,
he's out, mate. He's out. He's on crutches.
And one else. Who was it, right? I think. Yeah, and we don't know what's going on with Richarlison because he also came off half time, right? So I just hope and pray that some of these guys are like able to play in a week, because that's not as easy of a tie as some people think, right? Honestly, if I was like in charge of this club, right, I would rent a pitch just like BODØ have for a week and train with these players on a pitch like that, right?
Well, we've got that pitch on our training ground.
No, don't they train on normal grass?
We train on both.
They train on both.
They train on grass. They train on outdoor Astro and indoor Astro.
Fucking forget the grass, right? Just pretend grass doesn't exist, right? And just train on the artificial pitch, right? Get used to it, right? Because it's like I don't know. I back what you said there, right? I think if we get a goal out there, I think we win the tie, right? But if they score first early, and especially if they do it early, right? Because if it happens late in the game, I think we can hold out, right? But if they score early, I think we are in for a night, right? Whereas this fucking United team, these fucking bozos.
So lucky.
They won
They're gonna win it.
3-0 away to Bilbao.
Man U are going to win it.
By the way,
They're going to win the.
do
They're
you
going to
know
win the
that
Europa.
ever since the tournament phase started, right? Every single fucking team they played against got a red card against them.
Yeah.
Michael,
Leon, Sociedad, and Bilbao now. Every single team.
Go back to November. Go back to November on this channel when Lubo sat here, Ian Lubin, and he said Spurs are one of 6 teams who are favourites to win it. And I said, who are the 6? And he went through them, and I said, what? No, Man United. And he goes to me, look at them. I said, Lubo, what if they sack Ten Hag and a manager that knows what he's doing comes in? That team's won the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup. They've got trophies in their DNA. And I said, and we had this conversation. He goes, no. And I said, listen to me. Don't take Man United. Put Man United in your top 6. Don't do this. And we had the conversation. Like, if next time he comes on, I'm going to bring him up on it. I'm going to remind him. Look now. I'm telling you guys, they are going to win the Europa. Man U are going to do it. If Spurs get to the final, I know we're not going to beat them. I can feel it. I don't think we're going to the final, by the way. But that Lyon game was the writing in the stars, as they call it. That comeback against Lyon, that was the moment I said, these fuckers are going to win it. These bastards have been shit all their last God knows how many years. We smash them 3 times. You watch. I'm telling you, man. It's in their DNA, guys. It's in their DNA.
Exactly that. You just took the words I was going to say, yeah? Even in our best quality the Spurs have ever seen, we have won fuck all, yeah? Even Arsenal, when they was at the bottom of the floor, basically, by their standards, still won 2 FA Cups. Even Man U, when they have been the shittest team I have ever seen Man U be, possibly over the past 2-3 seasons, when it comes to the crunch, they still have win in their DNA somewhere. Man U, they always did. Right off Man U, like it's like being in a competition and writing off the Germans. You just don't do it. For me, you don't do it. No matter how crap they've been for how many years and that, you just don't do it. On your head be it sort of thing. And Man U will have that advantage over us in the aspect of they've got people on there who have won things. We haven't. Not in competition anyway.
And they step up to the big moment. Their players step up. That's what it is. They step up.
Bruno Fernandes.
I gotta go, boys. So have a nice.
Big up, Michael, man. Big up.
See you.
Kobe Minu in the FA Cup final. He's a young player. He steps up. They've got players like Maguire. Maguire will step up.
Did you see Maguire?
One-off game.
Did you see Maguire's dribble today?
I heard he was playing like Yamal.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's the thing. Like, how do they United?
Look, what I will say is, if we get past BODØ, we should, right? We should. But I'm so worried now because this is the script that I was running in my head back in November, and it's panning out that way. If we get past BODØ and it is Man United, look, they're not 100% through, but I'll be stunned if Man U aren't in the final now.
Yeah.
If it's Spurs Man U and we do win it, you know what? Honestly, you got to give Ange some praise, man. And I want him gone. I'm like you guys, Ange out. If he does, though, because he would have gone to this dodgy pitch BODØ and done it. We wrote him off at Frankfurt away. He done it. And then to beat Man U, a team we've never beaten in a semi-final or a final of a cup, to then do that as well, we'd have to give him some praise, man. You'd have to. Like, you can't. But I just don't see us doing it.
No, but give him some praise. Give him some praise for the moment. Yeah, well done on what you've done there. But your season's been fucking terrible. You've been absolutely just out of your level since you've been in the Premier League. Cheers, mate. Baked potato. See you later. There's your money. Next, please. We go and get something better. Or Spurs fans going to do exactly what they do with bloody Son and other players and just get all sentimental over it. Oh, but he's won us a cup, so we've got to give him another season and another season. Morally, then yes, maybe he should get another 6 months, and we know he probably won't last anyway, yeah? But realistically, if we are meant to be a big team, a big club, you say thank you for the Europa, now jog on, mate, because you was awful for the past 18, 19 months. Okay, do you know what? Even go stick a little statue there for him. I couldn't care less. He's not good enough to be an English Premier League manager at a top at a club. Full stop. For me,
Yeah,
I think he's one of the worst managers I have ever seen in the Premier League. Even if he wins it, credit where credit is due. Same as Johnson, 17 goals. Well done, mate. Credit's due. You can walk off a bit of pride with 17 goals. You're still a shit player. You can't dribble, can't pass, can't cross, don't do nothing apart from tap it in the back of the net. You're still shit, and I'd still sell you if you scored 17, 18, even if you scored 20. He's still got to go.
Yeah. Then
Credit where credit's due, but sorry, Alex.
I got to bring this up because I agree with that fact, but it's the fact that I said personally, I said I would finish 15th and win the Europa. I said that like many months. I'm gonna stand by that. I'm gonna praise Ange for every single little thing he's done under this cup run in the Europa. Every single little thing he's gonna get praise from me. But then I also look at situations like look at Barcelona. They win the La Liga with Xavi. It's not going as well. They boot him off. They get Flick. Look where they are now. They might be about to win the Champions League. They built on their project. They improved further on what they already were, and they won the league. They won the La Liga, and they decided we're going to improve on this. Okay, we're not Barcelona. We're far from it, but we have to have that same sort of. If we find someone who's even more ideal for this squad, who's even a better fit for what we need, and for someone who's proven in the top 5 leagues or even better in the Prem, then that's an opportunity we should seize, even if he wins the Europa. And I just have to go back to this still about what you said earlier with all the BODØ fans. It's something you don't think of, but I think it's the occasion for them. It's one of the biggest games they've ever played. It's the first time they've ever been in a semi-final. Same with, look at my local team, Gordon, the one that barely came from today. They played against Chelsea, battered 4-1. They were still singing and jumping. It's the occasion. They know they're... But I get there's definitely substance to what they're saying because they know how good they can be at their home pitch.
Alex,
also the occasion.
Alex,
it's the occasion too.
But as the game was starting, okay, listen, I noticed little things. I always spot little things, and I watched before kickoff, and I saw the Spurs players. They went into the middle of the pitch. They got into their circle, did their huddle. I looked at BODØ, right, and I took a screenshot. Right now, this might mean nothing to most people, but to me, these are the little differences. Okay, let me show you. This was them. The entire coaching team, the subs, the manager, the medical team, the physio, the whole club was there doing their huddle before kickoff. And I said to myself, this team believe. This team, a community. This team have got something about them that we don't know. There's something here. Things like that, that togetherness, that unity, that bond, it goes a long way. And that's why at 3-0, they found the goal. That's why at Lazio, down to 10 men at 3-0, they found the goal. It's this, guys. This is what it is. The manager creates that environment. The manager sets that tone. Now, for most fans, it might be like, oh, shut up. What are you talking about? I'm telling you guys. This is psychology. This is football psychology right there. And I saw that. And I thought, do you know what? This lot are coming here to get something. And they got it. And it started with that huddle. The whole club was huddled. Mate, when do you see us doing that? Or any other, or Arsenal, or Chelsea, or Man? When do we do that? They're different. They're a small town. They've got a community. The manager's probably brought the whole town together. They're more than just a football club. They are representing a town. They are representing...
There's got some passion in there still. That's what it is. They've got some passion and heart in the game, yeah? And if you go back to that picture...
They've got something about them.
Picture a second. Go back to that picture a second. Where's Ange? He's standing there. He's just looking on the pitch, if I can see the right person, isn't he? He's just
he's in the technical box. Yeah, because our players are doing a huddle on the halfway line.
Yeah, he's just standing there looking at the pitch. He brings absolutely no... I don't know what words to really use. He brings no... On the side, he brings absolutely no confidence or passion or... I can't think of the right words for it. He brings nothing to that team on the side. Maybe when he shouts once or twice at someone for something, but doesn't move for the rest of the game. And he just stands there dead as doornails through the whole pitch. for me, a good manager. No, I don't want an Arteta running up and down the pitch like a headless chicken. But I want another Conte, someone like that, who's shouting at the ball, telling the players, "Get your act together, come on," or "You're better than this," or telling them, "Well done," when they've done something good. I want a manager that can actually bring some passion into, just bring us. I can't think of the right word to put with it.
Conte was the best
brings
ever.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I think he leaves a lot of it down to the players, right? He leaves it down to them to do these things. I'll tell you that for me, one of the just because it popped into my head, I need to say it. I've never seen so many fans just get behind something, but at the same time, so many fans pissed off with it, right? At 3-0 up, they started singing, "I don't care about Levy. All I care about is Kulusevski." And then for 10 seconds, the whole South stand were 3-0 up. "We want Levy out. We want Levy." The whole South stand was erupting into Levy out chants. And I thought, what the fuck are we? This is mad. And then there's about 100 fans behind me. "What are you fucking doing? What are you fucking? Why we're 3-0 up?" And it just got louder. "Wait, what? Leave?" Fucking surreal, man. I thought only at Spurs can you be 3-0 up in a semi-final of a European trophy. And the fans are chanting, "Get the weapon out." It was fucking, and people getting so angry by it. Like, the anger. I thought, why are you getting so angry, man? Just enjoy your game. Give a fuck. Like, really? Are you that bothered? Mate, it was surreal. I've never seen that ever at any game where a team's doing so well. And that's the moment the fans decide, yeah, fuck the shit.
Only at Spurs. Only at Spurs.
I had to say that in case I forgot, man. It was. You know, I was so proud. I was so proud.
It's fucking insane, honestly.
It's just this whole
I heard
game
it.
for me has just been.
Mari, it was surreal, bro. It was surreal. I looked up, it said 3-0 Tottenham, Europa semi-final. "We won." Yeah,
I heard it. I was like, "Oh wow!" They're chanting the Kudus song, and I heard on the broadcast, "We want Levy out." And I was
yeah. Oh, man. It was jokes.
Yeah.
But
5-1 Liverpool. We're singing how we love Edge, but we're up 3-0, and this is the time we're singing "We want Levy out." Make that make sense?
It's insane. You can't explain anything at this football club sometimes.
No, you know what? For me, that's the perfect time to do it. That's the perfect time to do it.
To show
Why? Because even though you're 3-0 up,
so
and you're
many
coming
fans were doing
into
it,
the
Dan, though.
semi-finals,
So many.
you still want that chairman out. Not all of a sudden we're 3-0 up and everything, and everyone shuts up. Basically, that for me is the perfect time. You want that to happen. In my opinion.
That's still the 5-1. I'm like Maz singing Edge, something like that. That's weird. I just can't take that, accept that. But
steadfastness. That's what it is. You have to show that. Otherwise, it's fake. If you sing when we lost to Everton and Leicester back to back, and then you hear something going around. But if you do it now and if you hear it today, you know it's real. So,
guys, can I ask you something now? So, what do we do with the starting 11 against West Ham? And the reason I asked this is I was listening to an Arsenal podcast today to see what they thought about their loss to PSG. Because I do like listening to what Arsenal fans say about their club, because obviously I get to pick up things to banter them with. But they were saying that they've got I think they've got Bournemouth next, and they were saying to rest a lot of players. Like, who cares? Like, who cares about the result? And I'm thinking, do we do the same, guys? Do we literally throw the game against West Ham? Start Davies, start Spence, start what's his name? Danzo. In midfield, start Pape Sarr. I don't know, Mikey Moore. Start Werner if he's fit. But because I'm just thinking in midfield, I don't really want us to start Maddison and Bentancur.
We said that earlier.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry. I didn't hear. I wasn't here.
Yeah. We said that earlier. Because I said it would be a good time to, meaningless Premier League game. Start Mikey Moore. Get some of these players, in.
Because if we lose, West Ham do go above us as well. You know, it's just going to
Yeah,
be
it's
more.
the thing, yeah.
But
Fucking
also, like other people say,
do we
what
care?
about them? Yeah,
Do we care?
also, yeah, but still, you've been one of the ones saying a hell of a lot of the time, same as Sada. Yeah, but what about the momentum? Every Premier League game matters. Me personally,
I'm saying it, Dan, because we've got a couple of players that went off injured today, and now we know
I'm
Berg was
saying-
out.
even if we didn't have the players injured, whether people like it or not, for the past 6 months, easily the Premier League's done and dusted. It is over, finished. No, we didn't know we was going to get this far in the Europa, so we should have kept fighting. But then, well, now that we've got further in the Europa, and when we got to the quarterfinals, for me, whether people say it's done, it's over. I'm now concentrating on that one because we can still get something out of it. That one, the best I'm going to do is finish 13th, 14th. Yeah, okay, £6 million, £7 million difference, whatever, and that. Yeah, but for me, 3 months ago, it was over, and we had to concentrate on that Europa. But everyone keeps telling me about momentum and players need to get their heart and soul up and this and that. And we go and do Frankfurt, and then we just absolutely go and get destroyed by the next team we play because we go back to the Ange tactics. For me, go stick the kids on the pitch. I mean, when's the game against West Ham? Sunday, isn't it? Or is it
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, and then on Thursday we're playing BODØ again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. 4 days space. You know what? Bring the bloody kids on. Leave all the players you want to play in that game. Leave them fucking out of it. The
Done.
Premier League, like it or lump it, if you want to even mention the word pride to me, being a Tottenham supporter in this season, yeah, right. They're gonna play with pride to finish 15th instead of 17th, isn't they? Of course they are. I'm gonna have pride in my team that they won their last 2 games to finish 15th, not 17th. I couldn't care less anymore. It's done. Yeah. It's over. Concentrate on that Europa. 100% is my opinion.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that when you brought up the word momentum, it doesn't even matter. Momentum doesn't matter. These players, they're not gonna turn up in the Premier League. They're not gonna turn up. Even if they win, I don't think it's gonna, because even if they win, what do they win? Like
exactly.
If they win a Prem game, it's not gonna be like, oh, it's the first leg to something like it is in Europa. They're detached. They're detached from.
I just think with Solanke showing signs of fatigue, Richarlison may be injured, Son's out for the season, Bergvall's out for the season. The last thing we need, I mean, Maddison, he went off. We've known that when Maddison goes off, sometimes he might miss 2-3 weeks. I'm just thinking now, because we are in the semi-final and we're 1 game away from the final, it might just be worth not playing any of the players that are going to start on Thursday.
I just saw a report. Ange says he has a little tweak in his knee, but it shouldn't be serious. We think it's not serious.
Who's that for?
No, I'm looking. The Spurs web, it says Postecoglou on Maddison and Solanke. Dom and Matters. Matters felt a tweak in his knee, but doesn't sound like anything serious. Dom, similar, his quad.
When it comes to our players, injuries.
So you can't. So really, you can't play them on Sunday. Then you can't. You can't risk it.
No, I wouldn't bother. What is the point? What apart from being able to say to West Ham, like, yeah, we beat you, which really I don't think they give a toss this season. I don't think most of our fans care about it anymore. What do we really care about these next 4 games? Are you telling me that any one of you is going to stand there all of a sudden if we win those last 4 games and finish 14th and stand there and go, yeah, they had a fight at the end? I couldn't care less anymore. It's done. Get the picture. It's over. It's finished.
Yeah, honestly,
go for what you can still get in life. There is no point fighting for something that's over. It's like trying to rescue that relationship and staying with a woman just because you got kids with her or whatever, and then just totally wrecking everything else in your life in the process. There's no point. It's over. Go to what you can get and what you can win and go somewhere. And the only thing we have got any chance of doing is that Europa Cup.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why I love why, like, you can compare it. I'm going to compare it. Amorim, when he got asked about, is it, like he said, it's Europa Cup or bust for us. Like he didn't say that exactly, but he said, is this or everything? Like, this is what means something to us. And he's not going to say that. Our players, they're definitely not going to say that. Even we had 8 games left, they said, but we can't forget about the Prem games. They still mean, okay, they do, but they don't put this like clear distinction of significance, and this means more. They don't make you feel that as a fan. Like it means more. Of course, it means more. All of us here, everyone here knows that a Europa League means more than 4 pointless games in the Prem that they're not going to lead us anywhere.
Exactly.
But they
Why
don't.
do
They
you
don't.
think
Media. They don't, and it pisses me off. Honestly,
you're right? I'm
Any big-
100% with you. Why do you think that stadium was alive today, like Stell said?
Yeah.
Why? Because it was a Europa game and we stood a chance of winning something to go on to win something, yeah? We could be beating West Ham 7-0, and I guarantee it wouldn't be as loud in our stadium, if it's there, whatever, and that, as it was when we went up 3-0 to BODØ.
Yeah,
Because as all you're playing for is a bit of, we've done over one on West Ham. Honestly, who actually cares about the rest of this season or playing for pride or every game should matter? Honest question.
no,
Yeah, I agree, mate.
4 games is just it's nothing, and for me now it's just about totally minimize the risk of getting injuries, and you do that by don't playing. You don't play your crucial players in this game. You don't. You can play a Johnson. You can play a like those basic kind of players that but not Madison. I would rest Bentancur. I would play Sara, and I would screw it. Throw Gray into midfield again. What?
Yeah.
But now it's about not picking up another injury, because momentum is not going to matter. Our players are going to turn up in Europa League. They're going to turn up. That's all they have their focus on. It's all they have their focus. If they win against West Ham, I don't even think it's going to improve our momentum going into, because
I agree.
It's nothing, honestly. It's 2 different realities now. The Prem, and you could argue before. I'm going to bring the filth up for Arsenal. When they still had the league sort of in sight, it was unlikely, but then they could, value both. We don't have anything, not even top 4 for like, it's just throw it, honestly. Play Gray, play players that are gonna play, like give players game time that are gonna play away in BODØ, but don't risk anyone like Matters, Bentancur, or like crucial players that make us, tick. That's as simple as it gets.
I totally agree with what you're saying. And like someone said here, like, again, with the hypocrisy, if the players say they don't care about the league, people will say players don't have a heart and disrespect. I get that, yeah. But if Madison or whatever, or whoever, or Son, I don't care who, came out and went to the camera and said, look, we know the season's done. We just want that Europa League now. I wouldn't hold nothing against them, because it's just someone actually being fucking honest.
Yeah, and the speaker,
like the Man U manager, just like the Man U manager did today. He blatantly said it clear as day, as in basically our season is screwed. Yeah. Even if we win that Europa Cup, we have had a terrible season. But our only chance of fixing things at this moment is to win that Europa Cup. It's but I also get what some would say that, the hypocrisy of the players, they're getting paid this much money to win every game. I totally understand that as well. But if your heart's not with it or your head's not with it, one way or the other, you can't even give out that sort of performance, even if you try, sort of thing, compared to where if your heart and your head and your soul is with it, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Whereas with the league games, there's nothing to play for. And that word pride that some people use, that's been long gone, long time ago. There's been no pride at Spurs for about 12 months as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, but honestly, it's simple. Every game matters. Every game matters in the basic aspect of you have to win every game. That's the mentality of any top club. But you can distinguish the fact that a Europa League semi-final, a Europa League quarterfinal, a Europa League last round of 16 means more than a regular Premier League game. They're still important. You should still win both. But if you say, no, the Prem, like then they're on the same level, and that's a lie. Like you project a lie if you say, no, but every game matters the same. No, it doesn't. Every game is important. We should win every one of our remaining league games, even though we won't. We should do that, but you have to distinguish the fact that the semi-final.
It's getting your priorities right.
Yeah,
it's what a good manager does. Now, if we were sitting there in say 6th or 7th, yeah. And with winning these 4 games, we could get ourselves into 3rd or 4th. Then I'd say every game matters, and you got to go for that cup as well, come love nor money, yeah? But where we are now, 16th in the league, to me, even if we win these 4 games, it is irrelevant. As all I really care about now is winning that Europa Cup. Or really, that is all I care about. The league is over. Even if we win these 4 games, where are we going to finish? What, 12th? It's done. What's that going to get us? Now, if we were 6th or 7th, and we had something to play for in the league still, then you've got to go all out for everything, yeah? but it's about getting the priorities right now. The league is over. I get people have paid season tickets, want to see this, want to see that. I know that, yeah. But what are the players? It blatantly shows on the pitch that the second they even play in Premier League, their heads ain't even with it either.
Yeah, but I think my argument got out. Like, I think it got misinterpreted. Like, our players, when they go out to West Ham, they have to show spirit. They have to show. It's not like, I mean, I just go out and spill the game. Just look like pathetic, weak cowards on the pitch. Just look down on the floor when they concede and don't even try to get up for the occasion. No, that's not what I'm saying. Our players, they're always supposed to have spirit, always supposed to have passion, always supposed to have pride for the goddamn badge. But like, I'm talking specifically when they're on media duty, like in interviews. Like, it's okay. You don't have to lie and say every game is just as important. Every game means something. Every game, that's what I'm saying. You know.
That's why it would be a good game to put in Mikey Moore, who hasn't played in a hot minute, to get him run. Spence, because we're not going to see him again. You know, some of these players, Davies, you know, it's a good time to play these players. You know, especially young players like Mikey Moore's. Let them play. Play against West Ham.
Yeah.
So what you got?
Yeah, and honestly, like, just when you brought up Spence, he's been totally ostracized now. Like, ever since that interview, he's gone. Like, well, he's not even getting subs right now. We know how efficient he can be in the final third in the attack too for us. He doesn't even get a sniff today. Ostracized. If it's down to that interview he did with Rio Ferdinand, or if I don't even know what's happened, because it's not an injury. He's not been injured. He's still a useful player. We should utilize him. Now,
Alex, it's obvious what's happened. He only played Gray and he only played Spence because he had no choice because of injuries, and now he's got his players back. He's like back in your lane, boys and girls, and that just sums it up. So when people say, "Oh, look at, you know, he's trusting Gray, and look how he's giving Spence a chance and he's developing them," no, he did it out of desperation. He had no other choice.
Exactly.
I said it was bullshit, but
we can see it. We can see it now. You know, it's not hard to see.
I said it on Savage show, like when we were speaking about Spence. I said, did Spence actually get into that team or whatever? Because, like Ange said, he was working him. Yeah, sure he was, and he earned his way. No, he only got game time purely because of injuries. And then to me, he actually proved he is a better defender than Udogie or Porro. And now you should be starting with Spence or Porro or Udogie. Yeah, for me, he's the priority now. But obviously, Ange just don't seem to get that one, because for 3 months he was pretty much our overall best player, I would say. Yeah, looked a bit shady at times, hasn't everyone? But I would say he's been our most steady player for the past 2-3 months. But again, Archie Gray, he only got game time because of injuries. Otherwise, he wouldn't have even seen that pitch apart from teams like Carrierbag, for God's sake. Same as other players. Now that Ange has got the majority of his team back, you've seen it straight away. The important game, bang, there you go. Udogie, Porro. Maybe he should have started. He should have started Spence tonight as well, in my opinion, because that would make the team stronger. But we know the team he loves. You know the players he loves off and sticks to them and that. And he is what he is.
Yeah, like, honestly, Udogie and Porro, they've been decent against Frankfurt. They were more than good enough. And all I'm saying is that he didn't even get a minute, and he's a useful player. You can throw him on. You can affect you could take Johnson off, and you could bring Spence off, and just Porro or Spence. Someone sit low, you go and attack. He's not even using him, and. Yeah, what I meant earlier with ostracized is the only reason he's starting Spence in the league is obvious. It's for protection for Porro or Udogie, just because he's not gonna do as he did before earlier in the season when he played them both in Europa and in the league, like bam bam bam, when he killed them and ran them into the ground. He's not gonna do that because he knows he can't get away with doing that anymore. And that's the only reason he's playing Spence. It's a body for him that he puts out in the league to protect Porro or Udogie, and
if that's what he wants, then that's
Yeah.
what the manager wants, and he's going to do. Then fair enough. If that's the two players he wants, and he's then playing Spence
Yeah.
to basically protect one of them two players because he feels them two players, either of them, are more important to him in the final, then he's doing what he's doing. It's just I feel Spence will do more for us on a pitch with Udogie or Porro than Porro and Udogie together. Again, call it a personal opinion.
Boys, girls, I have to go. Sorry, everyone. I've had a long day. I'm tired. I just wanted to jump on and have a say, and then.
No, I'm about to get final words and end the show because I got to pack for Costa Rica tomorrow morning. Any final words? Well, I'll go first to get out the way. No, very happy with the win. Just part of it of me disappointed because we should have gone for the kill, and we left that door open, and we gave them a lifeline. And it's not too far-fetched that the reverse result, 3-1 at their home, could happen. It's not out of the realm. And so we got to be very careful. And so this tie is not over. Good victory. Celebrate the victory. But this tie is not over. So, last word, Stell?
Hey, we're in trouble. I said if BODØ stay in the tie, we have to go to their ground. I don't like it. I think we're in trouble. That's my honest opinion. People can lump it, like it, love it, hate it. That's fine. I've been consistent. I've been saying this since November. We're going to come up against a team we don't know too well, and they're going to stun us. And I said leading up to this game, anyhow they stay in the tie with this injury issue they've got, suspension issue, and they take us back to their ground, I'm worried. I'm worried. I heard the same fans saying to me, relax, we're going to get top four. We're only 3 points off of Europe and we fell apart. The same fans that said to me, oh, we beat Liverpool, just be happy. You know, we've got 1 foot in the Carabao Cup final. I said, guys, we're going to Anfield, shut up. And we got battered. And then people said, oh, but we'll do all right at Villa. Villa are dropping off. I said, oh, really? After losing to Liverpool, we lost to Villa in the Cup. I'm saying it now, man. I've been saying these things all year. This tie is far from over now, and BODØ are going to relish it. I think we're in trouble. Honest opinion. I think we're in trouble. I hope we get to the final. I want us to get to the final. I've even made preliminary plans to get to Bilbao tonight. Okay, haven't paid. I've made preliminary plans in case, because I'm a Spurs fan and I want to be.
You're going to jump in Ian's boot.
Roller
skates there.
Roller skates. But I think we're in trouble. Second leg, I do. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Final word. Honestly, I'm just gonna say it. I trust our players. I don't trust this manager. I trust our players, because if this doesn't mean everything to them, if this doesn't make them bring their A game, then they're not even worthy of calling themselves footballers. If they don't go out on the pitch and do everything, if they don't put their bodies on the line, if they don't die on that pitch, then what do we even have? Like, honestly, and they have a 2-goal lead. It's not my quote of football is nothing is impossible. You never know. But from what I saw from us during Frankfurt away, that performance, to know that my team has that potential and just overall discipline when they want to, then you have to bring that to Norway. And concede 1, fine. Go and keep defending. Don't get shaken up. Keep defending. Keep doing your thing. Have your head in the game. Trust that goal is gonna score. We get the equalizer. We just take the game off. I don't trust the manager. I trust my players, and I think we're gonna be in the final. And after that, we're just gonna have we're just gonna have one focus. Every single Spurs fan is gonna have one focus, and it's gonna be that, or potentially our worst ever season. So yeah,
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm sort of on the fence with this one. I'm with Stell in the aspect of, now that we have conceded that 1 goal and given that little bit of breathing space, 2-0, we can still get this. But I think we are going to have to play a game and a half, and probably one of the best games we've played all season, to actually walk off of there with an actual result. Basically, I still think 2-0's good, better than 1-0. Obviously, we can go there and get the job done. But I am seriously concerned because I've seen what they are capable of doing at their own ground compared to others. If we would have kept that 3-0, I'd have been going there saying 85% job done. It's never 100%, even if it's 5-0. But the fact that we've given that little bit of breathing space, and they had 4 of their best players out, and again, we could have took them out, or we could have shut up shop and kept the 3 goals, whatever. I am worried going to their ground now.
Just quickly, don't you think it makes our players more locked in, the fact that they felt that too? I think they felt that too. Shit, we're just a 2-goal lead now. That they're going to be more serious just naturally than if I know 3-0 to bottle a 3-0 lid.
Alex, don't judge or guess what you think they think. Go watch the video I've put up when I spoke to their fans. Then you see what they think. They tell you what they think.
Yeah, but
they believe, man. They're confident.
3-0. I think that
honestly, go watch that video afterwards. Anyone watching this show right now watches it later. Go on Tottenham Away, same channel, and look at the interview I did with 5 different BODØ fans. Mate, I'm telling you.
I'm gonna watch it.
Grace, buckle up. Get ready.
We got a good Christian A. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Big up everyone." Our next show is the watch along and the post game on Sunday, right, for West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham. Yeah, we're live.
Yeah.
Just
gonna finish my point. I said this. I said this during Frankfurt. I think it benefited us genuinely, like so counterintuitively. I think it benefited us going into their ground with a draw. I think it benefited us because our players knew what it would mean from the first time. Versus if we went into a lead like we did versus Liverpool, where some said, "Shit, we can actually," we're brought that false optimism. And I'm saying today, like if we cleared the game out 3-0. I think that could have been more deceitful, honestly, for the eye. That shit, they're gonna be comfortable going out on the pitch, and then shit's just gonna break. So I think it's counterintuitive, but to say that
3-0, I think this is done. 3-0, 4-0.
I'm saying it's crazy if we would have, but the less our lead is, it seems to be to our advantage because the players. There's no one that can.
Basically, I think what you're trying to say is like what I said on Savage Show and whatever. Sometimes going off the pitch at halftime at 2-0 is worse than going off the pitch at 1-0, in my opinion. Yeah. Because when you come on the second half, your 2 goes up, you're not necessarily into it as much or looking over your shoulder as much as you are with 1-0. Then they get that 1 goal, you're like, oh shit. Then they get the momentum. 2 goals, and then you're right up shit street, and it is a normal thing Spurs would do, sort of thing.
BODØ Glimt, do you know how many home games they've played in all competitions this year? 34.
Not in all competitions.
34. Do you know how many they've won?
26.
31.
Wow.
You go and look at their Europa. Yeah, okay, they lost to Carabao, but you look at what they've done at home. Could we really do what they did with Lazio? They've beat teams that have schooled us as well, basically.
This is what I'm saying to you. Whoever gets the first goal is advantage. If we go 1-0 up, I think we're in the final. We're in the final. If they go 1-0 up, just brace for impact.
Yeah, you naturally switch off when as you said, Dan. They're not too, like, if you're not absolute elite when it comes to mentality, and when you have that like hunger into the game, like. Then you naturally switch off. Like 2-3-0 up, you're not going to see the same like ruthless intensity. You're not going to see that like naturally if you're not absolute elite mentally. So yeah, it all remains to be seen, really. Yeah, we can just wait.
Well, on that note, we will see you guys this weekend, and good victory. And come on, you Spurs!
Come on, Spurs!
Come on.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away.
All right, fellas.